One more time here, early morning action here from Mun Ice Arena here for day 3 of the Elite Prospects Pre-Draft Invitational. Tyler Kuhl alongside Ryan Radosevich here for a game that will determine the champion, dare we say, Team Verbero and Team Elite Prospects. Coffee's not quite kicking in yet this morning here in the final day of the 3-game set. Ryan, Verbero won that exciting game on Friday night. They won the first game. Elite Prospects, the, dare we say, more structured game yesterday. It's going to be certainly an exciting day because we've seen 2 great games so far.
Yeah, and happy Easter to all those celebrate. We're out here early in the morning, so yeah, getting the coffee, getting the eye crusties off, all that stuff. But it should be a very exciting Game 3. You mentioned Game 1. It was 8-7 in Team Verbero's favor. They took it in overtime. 15 goals scored in that game. Offensive showcase all around for a lot of those kids. Game 2, like you mentioned, more structured game. It was 3-2 at one point, but Elite Prospects pulled away at the end, got the 5-2 win, so we're tied up at 1. We're going to see who wins the series today in this interesting Game 3.
So far, 22 goals have been scored. Only 12 of the 38 skaters have not registered points yet so far, but obviously 60 minutes today to figure that out, and possibly more, the way the 2 years have gone here for this Invitational, Ryan. But obviously, we had 2 night games so far, but the very quick turnaround of this morning game. I remember playing morning games when I was in high school, though, the last time I did that. It was always kind of a struggle, and you yourself, you know that as well, to kind of get up and try to get things going here. How do we think this one's going to go with these youngsters?
I feel like at first it may be a little bit slower pace, the kids waking up early in this morning, but I think it's going to get right back to the high-paced action. I'm expecting a very, very close game and around 3 to 4 goals, maybe 5 from each team, but I would not be surprised if it goes into overtime or ends in a 1-goal game.
These kids are used to playing those AAA showcases where some games do start around 9 o'clock in the morning, so maybe they will find a way to get that juice going here right off the hop here at Mun Ice Arena. We'll take a break, folks. When we come back, we'll highlight a couple of the players we'll talk about today and more here on WSBN TV's coverage of the Elite Prospects Pre-Draft Invitational. welcome back, folks, here to Munn Ice Arena here for the third and final game of the second annual Elite Prospects Pre-Draft Invitational. Tyler Kuehl alongside Ryan Radosevich here as we kind of look at the players that we've been highlighting this weekend. Obviously, there have been some great performances so far, including the Game 1 performance of Ethan Chen. 4 points so far for Braden Wade on Elite Prospects. Of course, Thomas Putnam with 2 goals in that first game for Team Verbero. All these offensive highlights, but let's focus on, Ryan, a couple guys that we might not have talked about too much in the first 2 games, including one of the defensemen for Team EP.
That defenseman is number 19, Evan Williams, out of Boca Raton, Florida, the 16-year-old. He's had a really good weekend. He hasn't put up any points at all, but I wanted to highlight his game because he's been really good defensively. He's been using his body, his big frame. He's been able to stick-check the puck away from opponents often. And he's just somebody that definitely has caught my eye defensively because you see in today's game, a lot of these young defensemen want to join and jump into the rush as fast as they can, play that Cale Makar type style that's flashy and fun. But Evan Williams, somebody who has joined the rush, but he's been very, very sound defensively, and overall, somebody who has had a very good 200-foot game without scoring a point. We'll see if he gets one today, though.
He has played in similar showcases like this season, playing for Team Gray in the U.S. Selects Under 15 this year, played for the Florida Alliance AAA program as a 14 and under product last season. One guy, though, I do want to focus on Verbero. We didn't say his name a whole lot in the first half of that opening game, but we said his name quite a bit last night, though. Izzy Parsa, another one of the many kids from California, from the Golden State, though he did play his AAA hockey this past season with Sean Gresko for the Milwaukee Junior Admirals, so getting some Midwest flavor for the California kid. Ended up scoring just 2 points in 15 games during the Tier 1 Elite season, but ended up putting 12 points in total over 52 games. We've seen a little bit of his offensive touch, Ryan, but something we like to see with him, especially being at 6'2" and 174 as a 16-year-old. Good size on the back end and certainly very capable of playing in his own zone. A guy that gets rid of the puck quickly and, dare we say, positionally sound for a guy that might be able to make the jump here pretty quick to junior hockey. As
he picked up his first assist in last night's victory for Elite Prospects, unfortunately not for his team. But you mentioned his size, 6'2", 174. He utilizes his size very well. He's got a great reach, uses his stick well, and uses his body as a shield to defend the puck and move the puck up ice quickly.
Also played for the Chicago Jets, so despite being from out west, he has a lot of maybe the Midwest flavor. He's gotten used to the Wisconsin cheese and the Chicago pizza in his time. I don't know what these kids with the nutritionalists, sometimes they like to eat healthy and stuff like that. We heard that from Joey Calder's dad yesterday. He said he makes his own chicken, salmon, and rice, and I'm like, man, imagine if I ate like that, I would probably still be playing.
I wish I ate like that growing up, but no, it was just the normal ramen, popcorn, mac and cheese, and etc.
Yeah, you made it pretty clear yesterday that your culinary expertise kind of lived and died with the microwave and maybe the simple boiling water. But
hey, I'm an expert with the microwave. Let me know anything you want to microwave. I'll give you the exact time. Don't worry.
You're going to be the guy that microwaves his turkey on Thanksgiving, aren't you?
Oh, no. Don't worry. I'll put the time and effort to prep for that, but most meals, just throw it in the microwave.
So we do have one more game here. It looks like we're going to start a little bit after 9 o'clock today, but that's okay. And, something we've seen in the game so far, like we said Friday night's game, everyone's still kind of getting used to knowing each other a little bit. They had one practice Thursday night here in East Lansing, so everyone's kind of trying to find their footing. That's what kind of led to the wide-open game. But we saw a much more team game here, and dare we say we're going to kind of see a little bit more of that today as both teams maybe still, like I said, a little groggy this morning. So Ryan, we're going to probably see a more structurally sound game.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a more structurally sound game than Game 1. Game 2 was looking a lot like that. A big part of Game 1 was the turnover bug by the defensemen in their own end. They tried to stretch it out, but the forwards from the other team were able to pick it off cleanly and get some good looks on the goaltenders. As it looks like we're finally getting some skaters on the ice here, but I'm expecting maybe a little bit of a slow start, kind of waking up this early morning compared to the 2 night games, but it should be a very, very close game, and this game's going to come down to 1 goal. I'm gonna put some money on it.
All right, sounds good. We're going to let these kids wake up, and they warm up, and when we come back, it'll be puck drop for the first period of the final game of the 2023 Pre-Draft Invitational, here hosted by Elite Prospects, right here on WSBN TV. welcome back, folks, here to Munn Ice Arena as we get set here for the third and final game of this Elite Prospects Pre-Draft Invitational. A bunch of these youngsters will be honored to be drafted to the junior ranks. Which league? That'll be determined, obviously. Tyler alongside Ryan Radosevich. I mentioned yesterday, Ryan, 17 players from last year's showcase ended up getting drafted into junior rank in some form, including last tournament's, dare we say, leading scorer, Tommy Holtby. He got drafted by the Fargo Force in the 16th round, because remember, in junior hockey, they have 35 rounds, it seems like, so plenty of opportunity for these kids to get selected. No one, though, from last year's team did jump right to the junior ranks, but that's because, like you see in the NHL, dare we say, some guys get drafted even high up, like second or third overall, but they decided to go back and play another year in college or juniors. These kids will probably be back playing in the AAA ranks next year, but certainly have bright futures ahead of them here for both teams.
Most likely, and they do have bright futures ahead of them. A lot of these kids this weekend and showed off a lot of skill, and they've been learning, growing, probably making some friends on the way, and hopefully having a blast here in East Lansing on this Easter weekend.
Unfortunately, despite all the interest of these kids on the golf course, even though the weather today is supposed to be pretty good here in central Michigan, it doesn't seem like anyone's going to have time to stay around and play around the golf, even though it's going to be sunny. I think we're going to hit, 55 today at the highest?
It's getting up to 60.
60.
Ooh, am I excited for that one?
I'll be wearing shorts today if I was hitting the links. Yeah. But, no, yeah, it's beautiful weather here in Michigan, especially for the springtime because, as fans or the team we have on the east side of the state that plays baseball, we've had games that have had snow on opening day in April and snow throughout the month, so creeping towards May, it means that it looks like, it may be a little bit nicer around these times. So, a couple of other kids I want to mention. I mentioned the USHL drafted a bulk of the kids last year, but guys like Liam Stork, Evan Sofkaitis, and Connor Bewick all got drafted to the OHL. Bewick and Storch getting drafted by one of the teams in this state. That's the Saginaw Spirit. Saginaw, who is going at it with the Flint Firebirds. Dare we say a Michigan battle in the OHL playoffs. And then Jonah Jasser is the one kid that got drafted in the U.S. Prospects draft in the Western Hockey League by the Red Deer Rebels. Got drafted in the second round of that draft. Well, we're all just about set to go here. Elite Prospects will be going left to right in their whites. Verbero right to left. Ryan, who are our starting goaltenders here for this one?
For Elite Prospects, it's going to be, again, number 1, Aaron Sex, the San Diego, California native, 6'1", 170. He's had a very impressive tournament. Game 1, only letting in 2 goals off 15 shots, and Game 2, 1 goal off 13. And then on the other side, it's Zayden Allum, who's put together a pretty impressive tournament, and we're looking to build on that right now.
Here comes Hudson Ewan with a quick shot, and that one goes wide of the goal as he looks to get acclimated to this game pretty quick.
There goes my prediction of this game being slow off the jump. That was quick.
Well, we saw a very good jump for Elite Prospects on Friday night as here's Sam Smith. He scored a couple of goals last night. However, he goes a little offsides, as his line mate does. Number 14, Jimmy Sutherland, the Kamoka, Ontario native, who has 3 points so far this weekend, picked up an apple in the opening period in last night's game.
And you mentioned Sam Smith. Didn't get on the score sheet Game 1, but in Game 2, got a goal early for his team, and then at the empty netter, so a couple goals, the only 2-goal scorer in last night's game.
Whereas 11 on the ice here for Team Elite Prospects, wore 55 during the season for the Windy City Thunder. Here's a long shot, easily blockered away by Sachs. Getting involved here in the game early as well, as here comes Max McGuire, the Buffalo Junior Sabre. Rubbed off, good job there by John Lumsden, the Peterborough Pete AAA product. Also spent time playing for the Pembroke Lumber Kings under-18 team in last season. There's Trent White for Elite Prospects. Nice little drop back to the trailer. Looking there is Cullen Tully, the defenseman. Fans on that shot attempt, then trips up and look out. Maybe a chance here the other way. Thomas Putnam. Cut off, though. It's a good job by Garen Mikulski to come off the bench and angle him off into the corner. Tully will pull the puck out of the pile, and he'll backhand it on ahead to center. Collected by Gabriel Clark, who we got to chat with a little bit yesterday after the game and said hi. And obviously, once again, one of these big kids that we've seen on the ice here today, kind of head and shoulders and making us feel, dare we say, average, Ryan, because you and I are a couple tall kids ourselves.
Yeah, I'm jealous. He's 15 and he stands at 6'1". At 15, I was about 5'6". That was right before I grew.
Here comes Verbero the other way. Gresco leading on ahead. It's touched on in by Nolan Beauchesne, who's, despite not really getting involved in the score sheet, in fact, not at all so far, has had some great looks offensively. James Liu rings that one on in. He scored a goal yesterday. Beauchesne pokes it out in front for Verbero. Got that one away from Mikulski, but thankfully Braden Wade so far the tournament's leading scorer, got it out of harm's way, but he turns it over. A bad angle shot by Brady Whitkin goes high and wide, ends up falling up in the netting and out of play.
Good stick in the lane there by number 20 for Elite Prospects, Cullen Tully. Just being in the right place at the right time as a defenseman, getting a stick on there. Excuse me, that is defenseman. Oh, no, that is Cullen Tully. My bad. I want to get the names right. I want to get the numbers right. I know the parents are out there probably listening, so I want to double-check them. Cullen Tully, good play there defensively.
How dare you mess up the Fairmont product. The young man, and here's a quick shot that gets blocked. Jaden Shirk let that one go through. Like we said, a lot of Fairmont prep kids out here this weekend. And obviously a lot of good talented players as well. They're one of those few prep schools that play both in the AAA ranks as well as part of their usual high school schedule. See that with places like the Nichols School and South Kent Selects. Bounce up the boards here by the guy that we highlighted in the pregame. That's Evan Williams in the white helmet here for Elite Prospects, kind of blending in with his gear. Trying to make his way through his Gavin Parks. Got it knocked off his stick by Gabriel Clark. Good job once again by the defenseman as Evan Seal looked to try to jump up in the rush of the defenseman. Seen him very active so far this weekend, Ryan. It almost costed him on Friday night as he gave up a goal as he got a little too aggressive. Icing called here against Verbero, but you like to see his feet movement here, very active, and he's able to get back, though, for the most part on the defensive end.
Evan Co, he's a great skater, and you mentioned in Game 1 and in Game 2, he showed off his very impressive stick handling. He went up into the play offensively, and nobody on the forward backtracked into his spot, so it did leave a gap, but luckily it did not end in the game losing for them.
Here's Zach Spagnolo, who was the birthday boy yesterday, picked up an assist and a penalty. He has the puck now, gets worked off, though. Good back check. That's Joey Calder playing out ahead. A 2-on-2 rush here led by Bradley Backen, trying to get it towards the goal for Riley Mabitas. Couldn't do so, as it was easily sticked away by Zayden Ullum. Just one shot on goal on both sides so far, just past the 3-minute mark of this first period. Glad you can join us here on WSBN TV for our full weekend coverage of this Elite Prospects Pre-Draft Invitational. Last year was held in Colorado Springs here at Mun Ice Arena. Quick shot on by Calder and a good save by Ullum. His best save of the game here in the opening minutes.
Ullum's first save of the game, but it's a nice one. Right up to the far shoulder, able to squeeze it as it bounces off his chest. A good shot there by Calder, who we talked about yesterday, somebody who's definitely getting his name said a lot more recently, and for good reason.
Played last season for St. Mary's Lynn High School before moving over to the GBL Bruins. There's a quick shot on by Mabitas. That one sticked away by Ullum. Now Cullen McCray, a long pass, goes off the foot of Brody Peterson. Nice couple moves there by Parker Cha. I've been really impressed with Cha's game this weekend, Ryan, because obviously very defensively sound, but also the fact that he can play on the offensive end as well.
Yeah, he's got really good vision of the ice offensively, and he was putting some passes through a ton of sticks and skates in the first 2 games so far this weekend.
Sam Smith knocks it on ahead. Now McGuire picks it up in stride. 6'2". Nice feet across. Skate to stick, but unable to complete the move. Coming in late was Sutherland. Puck was just bobbling a little too much on him.
Yeah, hard to handle that one. The puck was on its edge and bobbling like crazy off the ice.
Here comes Hudson Nguyen back in here to the Elite Prospect zone. Back up to the point. Quick shot. Letting that one go as Adam Kutsian. Rebounded chance. And that one's a good save made by Sachs as Ewan was looking for the rebound after the initial chance by Kutsian, who scored yesterday. Smith, nice play to get it in front, but this one a little behind Sutherland. Smith behind the goal again. Back for McGuire, playing a little catch back there. Now Cullen McCray, the big 6'2", 196-pound defenseman, just working him off the puck. I was talking with Spiros Anastas here before we went live, Ryan, and we were talking about McCray a little bit, and Spiros mentioned it. One of his brothers was watching the broadcast on Friday, saw the interview we had with him, and he said, "Man, that Tyler makes you look like a dwarf." And I said, "Well, what about a kid like Cullen McCray?" And he said, "It's crazy, man. These kids just sprout up these days." Long shooting, that one stopped by Aaron Saxon. Nice little touch on over here for Trent White, the 15-year-old Colorado Rampage product. Puck skips free, now trying to pick it up in stride. Here's Wade. He's got a man driving and takes the shot himself. Good job by Ullum to just seal up that post and make the save.
Braden Wade's had a good weekend so far. 4 points in 2 games.
Lumps in off the bench for Verbero. Just plays it down the wall. That is Sean Gresko. Gresko looking to make it toward the slot. Got it into the high slot for Beauchesne, but couldn't quite get a handle on it. Back down low. Here's Shirk. Shirk, the Newport Coast, California native, goes to the front of the net after leaving it for Gresko. Elects to go back to the point, though. Lumsden, nice little spin move at the line.
That was pretty.
Got away from Iojak for a moment. Still has possession. Looking for a lane. Sees one. Deflected towards goal. Hit a couple of skates. Follow-up chance by Gresko. Just fell off his stick. Good hold at the line here by Seo as Verbero's got their best offensive shift going here in this one. Colin Tully now has some room. Now he's quickly getting checked off by Beauchesne in that far corner. Just past the 6-minute mark here. Still scoreless between EP and Verbero. Nice stretch feed finds Iojak coming across the line, but a great stick by Lumsden before Iojak ends up hitting a rut in the ice right in front of us. There's Kevin Perreault trying to dance it on through, pushes into open ice, but that allows Seo to pick it up in stride for Verbero. On the backhand, Evan Seo, great play by, once again, Evan Williams, just calmly knocking it away and causing a turnover.
Making it look easy there on defense.
Braden Wade sees a man down the right wing side. That's Emmett Porter. He had one goal last night, looking for two, but a good stick by Gabriel Clark directs it up into the netting and out of play.
And something that we've talked about, the defensive game has gotten a lot stronger throughout these games, and you're noticing it right here. The defensemen are getting in the shooting lanes, making it difficult for those high-end shooters to get some clean shots off and helping out their goaltenders too.
We had close to 80 shots in that first game on Friday night, much less yesterday. So far, just 5 shots on goal have been credited. 4 have gone, though, to Verbero in the first now 7 minutes of this contest. Going back into his own zone is Parker Cha. Cha, the Team Illinois product. Just 2 points are in the High Performance Hockey League portion of the schedule this year in 15 games for the Northbrook, Illinois native. But as we've seen so far, he has some good offensive awareness, as that one had to be directed away by Sachs as Spagnuolo and Clark were pressuring. Clark in the corner, centering pass, deflected just wide of the goal. Ferdinand let that one go, and it almost redirected off Shaw, but just missed that far post.
Great centering pass there from number 18, Gabriel Clark, finding Matthew Ferdinand right in the middle of the slot. That one just slipping just wide of the net.
Ferdinand, the Maritimer, who was the hero on Friday night for Verbero. Another turnover. This time it's a shot by Porter that goes high and wide, finding the glass. Shot looking on across. Williams, slap shot. That's blocked by Ferdinand. As the top line looks to streak it on ahead here for Verbero. Couldn't quite get it all the way through, as once again Evan Williams just getting in the way on that EP blue line. Dumped back on in here as Williams will go back for it. Floridian will wait to see that Verbero is going for a line change, so he'll play it up to center. They'll say it was deflected by Emmett Porter, so Elite Prospects will get a change themselves. McCray, nice feet on ahead. Putnam couldn't get that to his teammate. That was the streaking Hudson Nguyen. Hudson Nguyen, who's certainly been an exciting player to watch out of Nichols School up in Buffalo, New York. Applies some pressure as Ryan Giordano plays it for Mikulski. Nice little touch pass ahead. It was intended to get to Ethan Chen. Unfortunately, the ref got in the way. Now Cullen McCrate with a centering pass just outside the reach of Peterson, as Verbero unable to get really a good rush on that look, despite it could have been a possible 2-on-1 for the team in black. There's Izzy Parsa keeping it on in at the left point. For Verbero, now Mikulski plays over to the far side for Giordano. Giordano, who played for the Jersey Hitmen. There's a nice hits thrown behind the goal, speaking of which, that was Peterson. The other way, here comes Backen, leaving it for Joey Calder. Cut off, though, by the very swift skating Colin McCray. Good forecheck here, though, by this checking line. At least it's going to be listed on our line charts. The line of Calder and Backen. McGuire out there right now with him for the moment. Giordano, the defenseman, pinching down the corner, moves it up top. McGuire takes a slap shot, deflected, but it still went wide of the goal. I'm not sure if he got a good look at that, as Backen now will cycle it down low for McGuire. Bradley Backen, the Ohio Blue Jacket product. Played for the 16 and 15 under teams this season. Long wrister, that one goes wide of the goal off the stick of Trent White. Now Cullen Tully, he'll take a wrist shot. That one goes wide as well. Sits at the side of the goal for a moment. Allum doesn't see it. It's still loose, and it's pulled out of the way by Colin McCray as he's tied up with McGuire. The two Macs go at it for a moment. Pulled out, White with a shot save made, and Allum will just kind of calm things down and smother it.
Allum with a crucial cover-up of the puck, able to get the whistle for his team. That line was out for what seemed like almost 2 minutes there. They were very tired as they started on the offense, had to go back on defense. They got hemmed in their own zone. So a good, smart decision to cover the puck there and stop play.
The 15-year-old Anaheim Junior Ice Dog playing 16 and under action this year.
Where's Aiden from once more?
Rancho Cucamonga.
Great city name right there.
Just one of the best. Almost as good as Timbuktu, but maybe a good second best. Not too shabby. James Liu will poke this one out to center. Beauchene will pick it up here in stride. Here comes the North Shore Academy product, and a shot off the stick of Tully. Then it bounced back out in front, and Sachs had to be sharp to get his pad back to the post. Good job by Lumsden to hold that one at the line while falling down. Liu with a wrister, a save made by Sachs. The rebound knocked off to the side by Tully, and now trying to wheel up here is Jimmy Sutherland. Trying to get on by Lumsden, and does. He's got McGuire. He gets it to him, but a good stick at the last second by Sean Gresco didn't allow him to pull the trigger. Now White's shot gets blocked at the point as James Liu got in the way of that one. Now it gets played on ahead. Now Liu racing to it with Evan Williams, but the Elite Prospects defenseman will get there first.
Just in the nick of time with Trent White going off in the change there.
I was talking with James Liu's mother yesterday, and she said the fact that this was Liu's first season in AAA. As here's McGuire with a shot and a good glove save made by Ullum as he holds on to that. But certainly impressive when you see Liu, Ryan, because we were talking to her and we kind of said, like, he doesn't look like looks like he's been playing high performance hockey his entire career.
Yeah, he definitely fits into the AAA mold. He's got great speed. He picked up a goal in last night's game, and he's got high hockey IQ, something I've noticed in both games so far.
Just coming down to 9 minutes left here in this first period, scoreless between EP and Verbero. So a little bit similar of a start we saw in last night's game. We didn't see our first goal actually until the 7:42 mark, so dare we say we're a little behind schedule this morning. There's Evan Seo trying to get out of harm's way. Seo, the Connecticut Junior Ranger product, played for power play hockey in the WYC last season in the under 15 ranks. He bumps it up the boards, but it's turned over. Aiden Iojak, the Alaskan line out there now, if you will, with him and Merrick, the Eagle River natives. Their centerman, Braden Wade, is pinned behind the board. Seo pulls it out of the pile. Chips it by Evan Williams. No icing. They said he could have played it. That forces Perot to get in a foot race with Jaden Shirk. Shirk will win that battle for Verbero. Centering pass just got out of the reach of one man. That was Kaczynski. And now Witkin has to go back to the blue line. Throws one towards the goal. Saved by Sachs. Shirk tries to wrap it around. He scores! Sachs kind of got caught on the far post, and Shirk made the quick wraparound, and Verbero, for the second day in a row, scores first.
Jaden Shirk barely snuck that one in on the wraparound. It looks like it will actually go off the right skate of Sachs and into the back of the net there. But a great play by Shirk to get it on his forehand as quickly as possible, wrap it around, and he gets rewarded with his second point of the weekend, the first goal of the weekend.
Shirk, one of the other Fairmont prep products here this weekend. Former Anaheim Junior Duck as well, scoring that goal at the 11:41 mark. So for the second day in a row, we said we haven't had goals for a moment, and the goal happens. Verbero getting out in front here with a nice individual effort. They do give Kaczynski one of the assists. We'll see if they can give Witkin the other. He's the one that took that point shot. Flipped on and back in here, the Elite Prospect zone. Matthew Ferdinand chasing Mikulski back there. Spagnuolo at the blue line just throws it back down low for Ferdinand. Ferdinand trying to center it in front, but a good job by Mikulski to come over as Spagnuolo and Brennan Sturbu both were driving the net. That's collected by John Crawford, who had a big offensive performance on Friday night with 3 assists. No points yesterday, but certainly said his name a couple of times with a solid play in his own end, along with his other defensemen. Sturbu slowing things down behind the Verbero goal. Nice play by Spagnuolo to get it on ahead. Spagnuolo, the Allen, Texas native, will come down the left wing. Drops it on back. McCrate with a hard wrister. That had to go off the glove of the netminder Sachs. Thought he had a clean look at it, but that high riser kind of maybe fooled him a little bit.
That was a wicked wrister, basically from the point there. If I had to shot clock that one, it may ramp up to speeds like a slap shot there.
Knocked down in the high slot here. Elite Prospects trying to answer is the line of Ethan Chen out there with Parks and Porter. They've created some looks so far in this game. Almost turned over. That was rare. Giordano's pass that was knocked down by Thomas Putnam, but taken back here by Verbero with Crawford collecting it in his own zone. Crawford, who played for the Colorado Thunderbirds in the 2020 Quebec Pee Wee Tournament. Played on ahead as Peterson will ring it around. Sachs couldn't stop it, but Cullen Tully will get tripped up in the corner, swinging it to the near side. Allowing some room now. Here comes Emmett Porter, a 3-on-2, maybe a 4-on-2 for Elite Prospects. Centering pass. Parks tried to go back across for Ethan Chen. Unfortunately, the puck kind of flubbed on him, and the chance went awry there for Team EP.
Maybe just one pass too many. A lot of these kids are super nice, super bright, and they maybe a little bit too much sharing the wealth there, but all these players, young, bright, and have a bright future ahead of them.
Sometimes these players that come to these tournaments, as this will be an icing call here against Elite Prospects, they don't want to ever look like the ones that are selfish and, dare we say, hog the puck too much. They will always try to maybe look for that extra pass when, to your point, Ryan, maybe you should pull the trigger on that great-looking opportunity. But certainly some good movement here. Only one goal on the board so far as we're coming down to just past the 14-minute mark of this first period. Face-off was won back by Verbero, but it's pushed out to center by Team EP, where it'll be collected by Kutsian. He'll play some catch with Izzy Parsa. Nolan Beauchesne couldn't handle that one. Trent White, the defenseman, stepping up, looked to rush it in, but was bumped off by Parsa, so he'll retreat to his defensive posture as Beauchesne and Verbero will come back the other way. Nice little chip play made by Sean Gresco. Gresco avoids a check, now pinned to the boards. Gresco, who did earn an assist yesterday in the loss for Verbero, a Chicago native, who ended up scoring 5 points in 17 Tier 1 Elite games this season. Ended up with 28 points in 54 games at the centerman. Kevin Perot now, a little too careless with the puck, turns it over. James Liu down the right wing side, and a good glove save made by Sachs, and he'll hold on to that.
James Liu, somebody we've mentioned multiple times, and for good reasons there. Able to pick the puck away from his opponent, streak down the ice, and he got a good, that probably was going top corner. A great save there by Sachs, flashing up the leather. Able to rob Liu of what could have been his second goal of the weekend.
James Liu, who grew up in Richland, Washington, but had to go down a little south to join the AAA ranks, playing in Colorado for the Rampage. You see that a lot with some of these youngsters that play AAA. They, depending on their geographic region, they might have to travel a little bit. Of course, it's kind of noticeable now with a young man by the name of Austin Matthews, who came from Arizona, had to travel 2 hours about every day to go practice and play. Kind of worked out for him a little bit.
I think it worked out pretty well.
He's only a Rocket Richard winner, plays for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Could have been captain, but that's a story for a different time. 4:37 to go here in this first period. Verbero leading 1-0 over Elite Prospects, as now here comes back in trying to change that narrative. Trying to make his way around, gets around, Lums in a shot, trying to go against the grain, but just misses the near post. Some good look from Backen. Hasn't been too many offensive chances for this line. There's certainly some good dogged effort in the defensive end as here comes Sam Smith back in for Elite Prospects, and that one's gloved and held by Ullum.
Another good shot by Smith, another great save there by Ullum. But you mentioned Bradley Backen, somebody who hasn't scored a point on this weekend. Surprisingly, I thought he did have one, but double-checking my notes, he's still looking for that first one. The native out of Mason, Ohio, playing for the Ohio Blue Jackets in the AAA ranks. He was able to use his body as a shield as he skated down the ice, and he got a really, really good shot off, just eked wide of the far post.
One thing about Backen that I've liked as well is that despite, being a guy that you obviously want to put points up at the AAA level, he's a very good two-way centerman. Also very hard on the puck, and as we saw in that last one, scouting report, quick snapshot. Almost, he beat Ullum, but just couldn't put it on target. Spagnola moves it from his knees on ahead. Nice play to get it to Ferdinand. Ferdinand trying to get around Evan Williams. That's been something that's been difficult for all Verbero players here this weekend. Gabriel Clark puts one towards the goal, deflected. Spagnola trying to put it on goal, but ends up going off the leg of Mikulski. And back that way comes Sutherland and company. Feathered on in. Ullum will stop it behind his goal. Nice little backhand play for Clark. Something that's very impressive with a young goaltender, Ryan, is if you can play the puck and be very confident with the puck, because being that third defenseman, being very active, certainly something that coaches and scouts like to see as well.
Now, some goalies make it look easy, but it isn't that easy when you know you got two forwards skating right towards you. You got to make the right play and split-second decision.
And a great play just like that sets up Ferdinand for the goal. Great tic-tac-toe play as 21 went to 12 to 17 as McCrate finds Sturbu the back door. Then Ferdinand was able to beat the outstretched blocking arm of Sachs, and it's 2-0 for Verbero.
Just a great movement play there from Verbero, getting the goaltender Aaron Sachs basically out of position by how well and how quick those passes were. And then the goal by Matthew Ferdinand, his second goal, third point of the weekend. He got the game winner in game one and now pushes lead 2-0 for Verbero.
16-13 the time of the goal. Correction, it was Sturbu and Clark that got the assist on that goal. So a great start here for Verbero. They're the ones with the early lead. Remember, they had a 1-0 lead yesterday, but a 2-0 lead now here late in the first period. Au contraire from the opening night festivities where we saw a 5-0 lead built up by the second period for Elite Prospects. And there's a big hit thrown by Spagnolo, knocking down Wade. Unfortunately, that was a little too aggressive, as we'll have a penalty up here as it's caught and held by Ullum. Cross-checking the call, so it'll be another power play here for Elite Prospects. First of the game, fourth of the weekend. They did go 0 for 3, though, in last night's affair.
Although we've seen a lot of goals scored this weekend, now up to 24, none have come on the power play. One power play in game one between the two teams, and then 5 between the two in game two. We'll see if we could get a power play tally here tonight, or this morning, I should say. Can't say tonight. It's bright and early here on Easter Sunday morning.
Well, we had sunshine when we left last night, so I can see what you're thinking. It's been less than 12 hours. We could treat it as such. Puck's cleared down right away, though, by Verbero. Great job on the penalty kill. Elite Prospects of their 3 power plays, say probably one had a couple of good opportunities, but like we said, sometimes when you're not used to playing with some of these guys, it's hard to get a good setup on a power play, Ryan.
Yeah, it is. The special team, something that takes a lot of coaching to get clicking accurately. And obviously, these guys have only had about 3 days to get acclimated to each other, but we'll see if it converts today.
Here's Iojak trying to get it across, kind of fumbled with it for a second, and Hudson Ewan was able to knock it off his stick. However, Verbero can't clear. Iojak gets it in on the far side once again. Gives it for his Rocky Mountain Rough Rider product, Brody Merrick. Up top, nice little spin move by Wade. Goes back down low for Iojak. Sees Giordano in the bumper position, but didn't see a good lane to get it to him. Back up top. Wade works it down the wall, playing a little catch. Iojak with a shot off the outside of the goal. Not sure if it was deflected with a high stick. Not sure if Ullum even saw it, as it was getting deflected by him right out in front. 50 seconds to go on the power play, 1:37 to go in this first period. Elite Prospects trying to cut into this Verbero lead. Good movement here by the power play so far, as now Chow will try to get it free. Another Windy City Storm product. Wade, nice spin move, trying to go back door, works out in front. Save made by Ullum as Giordano was able to shovel that on goal, but the point-blank chance turned away by the California kid.
An impressive set of moves, both by Cha and Wade. Their first, Cha stick handling his way through center, finding Wade on the far side with the spin move, getting right in front of Zayden Ullum, and Ullum making sure he keeps his team up 2-0 on this power play.
15-year-old Victory Honda product, Braden Wade, as we mentioned, 2 goals and 2 assists so far. He's the Invitational in points. Ethan Chen with a shot. That goes off a leg. Another follow-up try. That goes off another stick. As 22-2, the 3-2s getting involved. Evan Seo at the second shot block. Adam Kutzian getting on the first one.
And somebody who we mentioned a lot so far, number 15 for Elite Prospects, Ethan Chen, putting up a great weekend. 2 goals, 2 assists, the native of Paramoose, New Jersey.
Mid-Fairfield Ranger product as well. Played for Team Purple in the U.S. Selects showcase this season. Backtracking here is Elite Prospects with the final seconds ticking off this power play. They will fall to 0 for 1 on the day and 0 for 4 on the weekend. We're coming down to 47 seconds to go in this first period. Gavin Parks knocks it along here for Emmett Porter. Span away from pressure as Kevin Perot with a nice feed finds Chen. He'll just feather it on in as it went off the stick of Brody Peterson. Turned over behind the goal. Chen with a slap shot and knuckled on him. Blocked away by Ullum as the net becomes dislodged with 30.4 to go in the frame.
Great centering pass there by Porter. Not able to get the full stick on it there on that shot as the net comes off the hinges once more. We got to check these pegs. They may be a little bit flimsy here because I didn't think Ullum pushed off the post that much, but it did come off, and we'll stop play and continue here.
You couldn't tell me we couldn't get your usual Michigan State ice crew out here. We could get the moorings that they have during the season. There's a shot by Perot, stopped and held by Ullum.
Sadly, campus is a little bit barren on this Easter weekend, so probably couldn't get the official Michigan State ice crew out for this one, but either way, the ice has held up pretty decently for these 3 games.
It ain't rocket science. You just get a drill and you drill them into the ice, then you put the pegs in, and there you go. Here's a chance now. Park trying to center it, knocked away by Lumsden, and then it's played out to center. A dozen seconds to go as Cullen Tully retreats, being harassed by James Liu. Burrow now will throw it on ahead. Ooh, almost a dangerous pass, but a good little play by Chen, at least knock it to center. 3 seconds and 2. One last shot by Clark, stopped by Sachs, and that's how you'll end period number 1. Verbero carrying the play through the opening 20 minutes, Ryan, and that's why they have a 2-0 lead.
Verbero only 7 shots to the 10 of Elite Prospects after 20 minutes, but they're carrying a 2-0 lead into the first intermission. The first time this weekend they've actually taken a lead after 1 and carried it into the intermission.
Goals coming from Jaden Shirk, and the second of the weekend for Matthew Ferdinand. That's what we have on the box score here in the opening period. We'll take a break, folks, come back, kind of analyze what happened in those opening 20 minutes, and give you one of our player interviews that we shot yesterday as well here at WSBN TV's coverage of the Elite Prospects Pre-Draft Invitational. welcome back, folks, to Munn Ice Arena in East Lansing, Michigan, on the campus of Michigan State University. Tyler Kuehl alongside Ryan Radosevich as we continue on here. The final game of the Elite Prospects Pre-Draft Invitational, one period in the books. A 2-0 lead for Team Verbero. The guys that scored the goal, Jaden Shirk and Matthew Ferdinand. Jaden Shirk, who we haven't really had to say his name too much on the offensive on the score sheet, Ryan. However, one of our many California natives really made a nice play on that opening goal on that wraparound. Yeah,
Jaden Shirk just getting it with inches remaining of open net in that wraparound attempt, banking it off the right skate of Aaron Sachs. But Jaden Shirk coming out of New Coast, California, one of the 4 Fairmount prep skaters. Something that he talks about his game is he loves to dive to the net, he plays physical, and he sets the tone in both practice and games. He definitely set the tone there, scoring the first goal for Verbero as they take the lead into the second period.
Shirk, who during the high school portion of Fairmont season had 40 points in 19 games, not too bad, being over 2 points a game average. However, during the AAA season at the 15U level, how about this, Ryan? 42 points in 18 games. I think that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Now, I'm not too quick at math, but that seems like more than 2 points per game right there.
Not too shabby indeed. Ferdinand, the former Fredericton Cap, played for the U18 and U15 teams last season. The New Brunswick native scored the second goal at the 16-13 mark. Shots on goal in that period were 10-7. Sachs looked pretty good, though, on the Elite Prospects end, but Zayden Ullum, after in his first start on Friday, had a little bit of a rough go, giving up 5 goals, but it seemed like he's been settling in as this weekend's carried along.
He's gotten better and better every single game, and this past period, saving 10 of Elite Prospect shots. He looked sharp. He definitely wasn't peeling away the eye crusties from waking up early in this one. He definitely was ready, and he showed it there, making some big saves and keeping his team up 2-0.
Verbero looking to clinch their second straight, dare we say, EP Pre-Draft Invitational showcase. We did talk to a couple players yesterday from Elite Prospects in the lead up to the game last night. However, we did chat with one of the defensemen for Team EP, kid out of Chicago, played for the Chicago Mission and now the Windy City Storm. We talked with Kevin Perreault and his experience so far here in this tournament. Here with Kevin Perreault, one of the other defensemen on this Team Elite Prospects team. Kevin, how's the weekend been going for you, man?
I think it's been awesome so far. A lot of fun to get to meet a bunch of new kids and new coaches and get to play with them.
You obviously have gotten a chance to play with a couple of your teammates, though, during this weekend. Has that made it a little bit easier to kind of get accumulated with everyone?
Yeah, I think having Sam here is a lot of help to get to know the guys and just make connections with them.
Talking about Sam Smith, he's one of the forwards on this team. And obviously for yourself, though, you're obviously a little bit bigger of a defenseman there. What kind of an advantage does that give you as you kind of go through your AAA ranks towards the junior ranks?
I think it helps a lot with my reach and able to cut plays short and move up the ice.
What are some of your strengths in your game that you see, that's something that you like maybe some of these junior scouts that are watching to know more about you?
I'd say definitely my skating, ability to get up the ice, and my hands as well.
So what else is there for you outside of hockey? Everyone says golf. Is there anything else that you love to do, man?
I like to play a lot of lacrosse in the off-season.
Yeah. Now, I've always heard lacrosse, I mean, it's very similar to hockey in terms of it works on your release. Like, what are things that you take from that sport, from lax, and use it in your game in hockey?
I think just getting to shoot from different angles helps to be able to understand more about the net and finding corners.
Are you a big box guy or are you a field guy?
Field guy.
Oh, you don't too much physical contact? Is that what it is?
No, just have never really got into it. Not very big around Chicago.
Yeah, no, that's the bummer. I have a couple friends up in Canada, and box lacrosse is crazy up there. But certainly good to see you, and good luck the rest of the weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Kevin Perreault of Team EP of the Windy City. He looks to make sure he makes his way in here at the EP Pre-Draft Invitational. welcome back, folks, to Mun Ice Arena. Tyler Kill alongside Ryan Radosevich as we're just moments away from the second period puck drop. Elite Prospects and Verbero. Verbero leading 2-0 here on day 3. Well, day 4 of the actual invitational for these youngsters. They came here Thursday. Game day 3 for us, or day 2.5. The fact that this is a nice morning start here on this Easter Sunday, but a very good game so far. Great game by Verbero. Elite Prospects getting chances. This is exactly what we kind of expected to see between these two teams.
Yeah, Elite Prospects leading the shots so far, 10-7, but it's Team Verbero up 2-0 after one. Goals coming from Jaden Shirk and Matthew Ferdinand. 2 great goals. One coming from a tic-tac-toe play for Matthew Ferdinand, and then Shirk with the wraparound attempt. And Verbero taking their first lead after a period, so something they got to smile about.
Something that's been very obvious this weekend with both teams is that their ability to throw these cross-ice passes. Obviously, these are very young, skilled players, and being able to go tape to tape, that's exactly what scouts, coaches, and any else that's watching us here on WSBN TV likes to see.
Yeah, the big thing in hockey that goes unnoticed is the ability to get the puck right on the tape. You'll see sometimes the puck will come near the feet, and that'll handcuff the players, or too far, they'll stretch out, they won't get it. But these passes have been very, very crisp, tape to tape, and the players showing off their skills all weekend.
We'll see if they can show them off here as we get set for the second period here between Verbero and Elite Prospects. EP now going right to left. Aaron Sachs scraping up his crease down to our right. Zayden Ullum jumping in down to our left as Verbero will go now left to right here on your screens here on WSBN TV. Well, thankfully, you can join us all weekend long. And, thankfully, we had a perfect schedule last night, Ryan, that we got done right before a very exciting game that happened down in Tampa. Quinnipiac winning their first ever national championship, taking down the mighty Minnesota Golden Gophers.
And what a game that was. Came down into the last couple minutes. Quinnipiac tied it and won it in overtime in 10 seconds. I wasn't ready for that one.
I was not either. Neither was my dog. I took her outside to go to the bathroom. Took her too long. Almost missed the goal. But now we're back in action here at Mun Ice Arena, sticking with the school book hockey theme. There's Parker Cha in his own zone. Very active defenseman. Perot, of course, the interview that you saw, he moves it along forward here for Elite Prospects, but it's turned over. Now it's turned over once again, at least for a moment, by John Lumsden. But here comes Hudson Wynn across the line. A shot off the stick of Cha, and up into the netting, and out of play.
Parker Cha, the native of Northbrook, Illinois, somebody we've talked about a lot. He says he plays a physical, hard-working game, and he likes to sprinkle in some offense to his defensive game there, as well as staying back on defense and having that presence. And also, a fun fact about him, he's good at making some balloon animals, something that not many people can say.
I was always scared of clowns growing up, so maybe I'm not the one to talk about that, but that's still very impressive.
I'm still scared of clowns, man. Oh.
Referees we have here today, Bill Jones, Andrew Hartman, they're running the lines, and we have Kobe Lightholt, once again with the orange bands. It's coming on in here is Brody Merrick, one of the Alaskans on this one. And something I was talking about with Aiden Iojak's dad after the game on Friday. Hockey in Alaska, it's still a big thing. Look out, hold that thought. Merrick in on a breakaway over top of the goal. Maybe Ullum got a piece of that. That kind of proves my point just right. Good hockey in Anchorage, Alaska. Just unfortunately, not every player is from Anchorage, Alaska. Kind of have to travel a little bit, but then again, Alaska is the kind of state where there's a shot that goes wide from Braden Wade, where you have to honestly take a little buzzer charter plane if you want to go to Juneau. And there's a goal, a shot from the point off the goalpost, and Wade bats it in. Giordano got it through and got a lucky bounce to put it on his centerman's stick, and Elite Prospects is on the board.
And for Braden Wade, number 10 for Elite Prospects, that's now his 3rd goal and 5th point of the weekend. The native of Commerce Township, Michigan, showing off in his own home state. And that's just good positioning there. A big thing in hockey that goes unnoticed is just players being in the right place, and that's definitely the right place there, able to bury the rebound off the bar.
Brody Merrick gets the assist. That's his 3rd of the weekend. So now Wade is tied for the all-time lead in invitational points with 5 after the Fargo Force prospect Tommy Holpe did so last year. However, different for Wade as he has 3 goals and 2 assists compared to Holpe's 2-3-5. Ethan Chen dumps it on back in here for Elite Prospects. That goal coming at the 1:39 mark of this second period. A point for Giordano. That's his first of the weekend as well. Good job once again by the Jersey Hitmen defenseman just to get it through, and I think it might have just handcuffed all of them. That's why it hit the goalpost. At the right point, John Crawford with a shot, a high riser. Ends up finding the end glass to the left of Aaron Sachs. Another try by Parsa. It got deflected in a good positioning by Sachs to just simply make a simple-looking butterfly save. Long shot by Serbu. Another juicy rebound. Ferdinand puts that one on, and a good right pad save made by Sachs in tight.
Sachs making it look easy there. It's that butterfly position that's so strong, but he kicked out the right leg, the left leg, and just smothered up. Lots of rebounds there. Good sequence of saves there for Sachs.
Offsides at the line. Ethan Chen wasn't too happy. He kind of just fired the puck down into the zone, and we're going to have an unsportsmanlike penalty.
Ooh, okay. Teaching them young that they'll probably call that at the higher levels. And, yeah, it's good to teach them young.
So it'll be the first power play of the game for Team Verbero. They had one in the first game, 2 last night. Both went over, but an opportunity here to restore the 2-goal lead. Going back to Aaron Sachs a little bit here, he went 13-6-2 this season for Fairmont Prep in high school action with a 1.75 goals against average and 3 shutouts on the year. To come up big here to keep his team just down by 1. A shot by Philip Kaczynski goes off a leg. Now Lumsden pinching from the point behind the net, and the net is dislodged.
Like I said, those pegs, man, there's got to be replacement pegs sometime, because that blown whistle comes at a crucial time. Looks like Verbero is just getting started on their cycle on the power play, so they're going to have to restart this time. Face-off coming on the opposite side.
I know a guy who has a product that I don't think I can plug on this presentation here today, but they hold the net a little bit better for goaltenders, but we don't need to go into that because I don't want to get, dare we say, busted on the air for giving free advertising on WSBN TV.
Being diligent in your work, I like it, Tyler.
Philip Kaczynski now will come back in after a big hit was thrown on the far side by Backen. Calder bumps his man, but McCray will fire it across. Lumsden with some room, lets it go. Save made by Sachs. Another rebound. This time it's thrown out to center by Wade.
And Sachs was screened on that one, but going down into the butterfly position, like I mentioned, it's strong and it makes the save off his left pad.
Kevin Perreault back behind the goal, slaps it around, and it will come all the way back into Verbero territory with 1:08 to go on the power play. Sachs, I remember when I looked up his footage and I saw that he moves well, but the two things I wrote about him, since he is 6'1", has size, long legs. He showed him there on the last couple of saves that he's made with those white pillows with a few puck marks on him, to say the least. Hudson Wynn rushes it back into the EP zone. That's Brody Peterson, the Andover, Minnesota native, up to the point for Evan Seo. Nice little feed in front. Kaczynski wants to get it away and does. It skips up high in the air. Kaczynski will follow it up himself. Looked like it just took him a little too long to pull the trigger there in the slot. Could have been a great chance for him on this power play that has half a minute to go on it. Gabriel Clark for Seo. Back across, looking to get that one for Peterson, but a good read by Riley Mabites to deflect that up in the netting and out of play.
Philip Kaczynski, somebody we've mentioned a lot of times, able to pick up his first assist, looking for his first goal on the weekend. Born in Minsk, Belarus, came over to the USA 2 years ago to expand his game and give him a bigger and better chance of making it to the big leagues. And he's somebody that's impressed me this weekend so far.
Played for the Minsk Dynamo, or Dynamo Minsky Selects a couple of years ago as an under-12 in the World Selects Invitational back in 2019. Gabriel Clark at the right point here. Nice feed across. Found Peterson trying to go back out. Kicked out in front by Sachs and unfortunately tied up and unable to go skate to stick with Hewen, who has the puck now. Now here's Seo. One last chance on this power play. Hewen with a shot. Stopped and held by Aaron Sachs with just one tick on the clock on this power play.
Taking you back to the last shot by Brody Peterson. It may have seemed a little bit weak. That was on purpose. He was going and placing that puck on Sachs' far pad so he could feed his teammate Ewan in front with the rebound, and he did so, and Ewan with a great chance.
Peterson, who split time playing for the Minnesota Green Giants 15 and over team this year, but also playing for the Andover Huskies Bantam Double-A team. So kind of being a dual threat this year, kind of two-timing. Also played for the Minnesota Machine growing up as well. Great speed on him, as we saw, some good vision and good awareness. Both teams 0 for 1 with the man advantage now here this morning, as having some issues getting out of his own zone is Garen Mikulski. They're trying to wind up now, but gives it away to the aforementioned Peterson. He drags and shoots off the goalpost.
What a beautiful toe drag. It just inches from going in.
Beat the blocking arm. It's a tough save to make for a goaltender. Foot off the ice, stick side. He did just that, but rang it off the iron instead. Peterson looking for his second goal there, just misses. The puck's back out to center ice. Now going back into his own zone, that is Trent White. White, nice little spin move to get away from Thomas Putnam. Hasn't gotten his name on the score sheet since that 3-point performance on Friday night. Puck is played up, and nice little good job by Beauchene to work off a couple of checks. Now here's James Liu back in. Liu gives it up. Gresko saved by Sachs. Nice little touch pass and good quick release by Gresko, but a good save made by the EP netminder once again.
A great save, able to push that left shoulder out. Just barely make the save there and get it down to his glove, but a good rush there by Team Verbero. 3-on-1 resulting in a basically 2-on-1, but good save there by Sachs.
And I like that play by Lou to simply get the pass to Gresko because he was being checked from behind by Sam Smith, so able to quickly move it along and create a scoring chance. One of the times that maybe getting an extra pass certainly helped. Is now going back on in here is Brody Merrick for Elite Prospects. Looking in front. Didn't see a good lane to get it to Iojak. Knocked down, centering, nice chance for Porter, but a good save made. Zayden Allum stopping that one in tight.
And what a pass by Iojak right on the doorstep, backhanding one over to his teammate.
Beauchene on with a chance and a good save made by Sachs as the goaltender's now showing up a little bit here after a good rush by Beauchene working Giordano off the puck to get that chance.
And huge end-to-end action. No, this is not 3-on-3 overtime that you see in the NHL. This is 5-on-5, but these players showing off their skill and speed. Great chances on both ends there. And Nolan Beauchene with the latest chance for Verbero.
Beauchene, someone who can be a centerman as well. Great on faceoffs and also very good at shooting the puck off his wing and obviously working his way towards the puck to get into better scoring areas. Somehow has got to get his name on the score sheet. There's a big hit thrown as Iojak got sent for a ride by John Crawford. Big hit thrown that time by the former T-Bird and played for Team Navy this year in the U.S. Selects. Spagnola puts one towards the goal wide. Ferdinand will go back to the point. Another shot by Crawford hits a couple of bodies, including Evan Williams. Another point shot. That's blocked, and another good bounce for Ferdinand, and he scores. The lively end boards coming into a factor as Ferdinand slaps in his second of the game, third of the weekend. 2-goal lead restored for Verbuzzen.
Something I've been talking about this game, the positioning from these players is amazing. And Matthew Ferdinand, that's just where you need to be. Bounces off the end boards pretty actively there, gets his second goal of the night, or of the morning. I'm used to saying night here. I'm used to doing college games, not used to doing these morning games. But Ferdinand in the right place, picking up his third goal on the weekend.
7:08 the time of that goal. The end boards here, if you hit him in the right spot at the bottom of the kick plate, gives a little bit of that rubber band action. Katsian and Spagnola will get the assist. Spagnola looking for Ferdinand for the hat trick. But unable to get that one through as a shot, a long one that got fluttered on goal, had to be shrugged away by Aaron Sachs. Most goals Sachs has given up so far this weekend in any of his outings. 3 goals so far. Shots on goal in this period right now as it stands, 8-3 in favor of Verbero. They're out shooting Elite Prospects now 15-13 as we're coming down to about 38 minutes of action. Excuse me, 28 minutes of action. Here's Lumsden now behind the goal for Verbero. He gets bumped. The defenseman trying to work it out of there for the team in black. Long stretch feed misses everybody, and they will say icing called against Verbero just past the 8-minute mark of this second period.
Verbero flipping the script of yesterday's game. Elite Prospects was up 3-1 at this point. Now it's Team Verbero taking the lead. Both teams winning their respective games on Friday and Saturday. Looking for the series win here.
Spagnuolo now with 3 assists on the weekend. Here's a shot by Mikulski, gloved and held by Allum. And with the point for Katsian on the assist, that gives him his second point as well of this invitational.
Adam Katsian on defense, somebody who I marked down as a great passer, and he's had a great amount of saucer passes, something that is not easy to do in hockey, that at the pro level they make it so easy, but a saucer pass is something that takes a long time to develop and get good at. But luckily for Katsian, he's been doing a good job.
Another icing call here against Verbero. One player that was always really good at saucer passes, mainly because I don't think I ever saw him feed a pass on the ice. That was Mark Savard of the Boston Bruins, and up until recently, the all-time leading assist getter in the Atlanta Thrashers / Winnipeg Jets history. That is the one weird thing, is that despite it being the Winnipeg Jets, they have to have the Atlanta Thrashers history because it is the former Atlanta Thrashers that moved up there in 2011. Little known trivia fact for you. There's a shot that's blocked by Colin McCray. Caught him right on the hand as letting that one go with Sutherland. McCray gloves that one down with the same paw as it played on ahead. Now here comes Shirk. Shirk almost got around Mikulski, but a great play with the skate by the defenseman for Elite Prospects. As here coming the other way, Sutherland trying to feed it across, but once again, McCray getting in the way.
Good suffocation of the Verbero defenders to really take away the open ice that Elite Prospects had right as they got over that blue line.
Wire coming on in now. Toe drags, tries to get through a couple guys, and ends up getting tackled by McCray. These two have battled all game long, and they're having a little bit of pushing and shoving behind the net. McCray drops a glove. He'll pick it up as McGuire tries to get back on sides. Two big bodies are going at it there, Rye. 6'2" each.
And even though this is a pretty friendly matchup, both players giving it their all.
Whitkin with a shot. That goes off the stick of Cha and flutters over top of the goal. Going down close to the halfway mark of this game. Here's a shot by Putnam that goes wide. Nice effort by Cha to keep it back behind the goal, laying out to make the play. Crawford, another try, deflected on in front. Putnam fans on the follow-up attempt, and now a chance the other way for Wade and company. Braden Wade as the lone goal for Elite Prospects in this one. Couldn't get that one towards the goal, but kept it on in deep. We're going to be seeing a goaltender change here, probably in the next whistle on both sides. I'll give you the numbers and the matchup when we get to that point. It's a big reverse hit thrown by Mabitas as Thomas Putnam caught the worst of that at the blue line.
Mabitas showing off the stick handling and the strength there. He was barely even ready for that hit, but still toppled his opponent.
Certainly a stocky young man, despite maybe his height stature. Hudson Ewan back the other way for Verbero. One-timer just off the heel of the stick and Putnam and wide.
Good vision from Ewan there, trying to find his teammate, Thomas Putnam, who had a very good, very impressive game one, putting up 2 goals. Hasn't found the score sheet yesterday or today yet. But for Team Verbero, they're having an overall very good game. And it looks like we're having the goalie switch like you mentioned.
Yep, Allum and Sachs coming off. And give us the numbers on the 2 goaltenders we have on the ice now, Mr. Radosevich.
It's once again the pair of 30s. Alec Dawes stepping in for Elite Prospects in the white on the right side. And then Mason Goodrich, who's put together a very impressive weekend. Number 30 in the black and green for Verbero.
Very exciting to watch. Very, dare we say, flamboyant style of goaltending. Final lines, Aaron Sachs, 12 saves on 15 shots. And for Zayden Allum, 13 of 14. Probably his best performance of the weekend so far. Point shot by Lumsden was blocked and gets put back out to center. Still a 2-goal lead here for Verbero, despite some great looks for both teams. Ryan Giordano, the defenseman, plays it ahead, but it went off a stick and intercepted. Here comes Nolan Beauchesne, trying to make his way in. Tried a little bit of a windmill move, but it got too close to goal. That allows Alec Dawes to poke it away. You think Beauchene's got to get 1 point here, right, in this game? The way he's gotten so many offensive looks so far this weekend, Rads?
Oh, he's got to. Like I said earlier, it seems like he's got it a point. It's surprising he hasn't. But the 5'9" center out of Dunstable, Massachusetts, seems like he should be on the score sheet. He'll get on it soon, in my opinion.
Here comes Gresko up the left wing side. Good job coming back was Joey Calder to cut him off. The other Massachusetts we have here this weekend getting up on the defensive end. Now shrieking on ahead. Emmett Porter makes his way on in. Goes skate the stick, but Spagnuolo just poked it off his stick at the last second as looked like he was going to let that one go. Sturbu on a 2-on-2 rush shot. First save made by Dawes. A juicy rebound collected, though, by the winger Gavin Parks. Gavin Parks out of the Christian Brothers Academy. Played for the Utica Junior Comets as well as an under-15 AAA product this season. Played with Emmett Porter on the Rochester Coalition U14 team last year, so those two very familiar with each other. Evan Williams getting checked just next to the Verbero bench, trying to work it off the wall there as Ferdinand and Sturbu trying to get that out for Team Verbero. Williams now with some room, just backhands it on in. Like we always say, nothing fancy about Evan Williams, just very simple defenseman and obviously very physical as well.
A very solid game defensively. He's been using the body and his long reach to get away from a lot of Verbero prospects.
That puck jumped to the side of the goal, but back in, or Parks could find it. Up to the point now, Williams. On across here, Mikulski. Puck kind of skipped on him a little bit. Starting to see the lines get jumbled up a little bit here as we go along here throughout this game, Ryan. We saw the first two games, the lines be very similar. This one knocked to the line. Mikulski holding in for a moment. Good job to get it on away from a couple. Now it's a quick 3-on-1. Porter on a cross, just over the stick of back in on the back door.
That was a great stick in the lane there by Evansio, tipping it just out of the reach. Great defensive play there by number 2 for Verbero.
Goodridge was dead to rights. Then again, the way Goodridge plays in his style, he might have had a chance of making that save, dare we say, the way he's looked so far for us here at Mount Ice Arena. White throws a firm bump into the boards for Spagnuolo as we're down to 6:40 to go here in this second period. A 3-1 lead here for Verbero. Here comes White leading the rush. The defenseman gets around McCrate. Nice move. Good save by Goodridge. The rebound back in, just had it flub off his stick. Still on it in the slot. Goes back up to the point. Porter covering for the defenseman. Takes a shot. Off a leg now as McCrate helps get it on ahead as Ferdinand will come back the other way for Verbero. He'll dip the shoulder trying to get around Tully, dropping it back. Sturbu trying to go short side off the outside of the goalpost. Good transition game here by Verbero. Ferdinand trying to bounce it off the backside of Dawes. As now White back on the defensive end, trying to play it up the wall. It's Aiden Iojak avoiding a check and getting it to center. McCrate gets worked off the puck by back, and here is Merrick. Merrick trying to dance through, but he was cut off. Good job by Crawford and the back-checking Phil Kuczynski. Jaden Shirk now will settle things down. Great defensive pressure right now by Verbero as every single time it looks like a good rush for EP is coming. There's a shot that goes wide off the stick of Witkin. Every time it looks like the team in white has a good look, Ryan, it just seems like one or two black sweaters gets around them.
Yeah, the defensive game, like we've mentioned, has been a lot stronger. And they've been defending in swarms. They've been taking away the open ice and making sure there's no open shooting lane here and there.
Jaden Shirk, who opened the scoring back in the first period, played it down low. It came to the side of the goal, and Dawes will hold on to it. Shots on goal now in the period, 9-4. Excuse me, correction. That's now 10-4 in favor of Verbero. 17-14 as we're coming down to 5 minutes left here in this middle frame.
Verbero definitely with the momentum in this one. And Brady Witkin and Jaden Shirk, players that I want to mention, on that last rush, they played a great uncommunicating game together. Braden Witkin skated it to the near side, and Shirk streaked towards the net. Witkin able to find Shirk. Didn't result in a goal, but a good play between the new teammates.
Great poke check there by Gabriel Clark near his own line. As Sutherland looked to bring it in one-on-one, but a quick poke check just knocked it right off stride. As now it'll be Verbero back the other way. Shirk's pass a little bit behind, and then he got upended by the other number 11 on the ice, Sam Smith, and we'll have a penalty. And they're going to call interference on Smith, so it'll be the second power play of the game for Verbero coming up late in this period.
And that call makes sense. Sam Smith kind of throwing a shoulder into the back of Jaden Shirk, who takes a tumble to the ice. The referee's seeing that one, so they'll usher Sam Smith over to the sin bin for what Smith hopes is 2 minutes, but we'll see if Verbero could get the first power play tally of the weekend.
They are 0 for 5, or 0 for 4 now, excuse me. This is their fifth power play of the weekend. Face off to the left of Alec Dawes. He knows his job's important. Dawes, who had a good start yesterday, but a little bit of a tough go in relief on Friday night, giving up the eventual game winner in the vigorous comeback by Verbero. Here is Hudson Nguyen across the line, cuts up, stops, shoots, deflected. Just wide of the goal as Peterson's back on it. Peterson on over here to the near side. Looking back door, there's Putnam, save made, rebound, they score! Brody Peterson bats in the rebound, and we have our first goal on the man advantage for either team this weekend as Verbero extends their lead now to 4-1.
Power play goal for Brody Peterson, sitting back door and able to get the rebound off the shot. The native of Andover, Minnesota, collecting his 4th point on the weekend. Peterson's a playmaker, goal scorer, and he showed it right there, being in the right place to bury that rebound.
He'll give Evansio the secondary assist. Have a little bit backwards on the stat line there, but that's okay. Oh, nope, they fixed it. Kind of. Peterson on the goal, Putnam with the assist, but that's okay. I marked it down on my little sheet here.
There you go.
As we'll say, offsides. It was a delayed offsides. Verbero got caught 2 and deep, so we'll come back out to center with 4:06 to go. Time of that goal, the 15:44 mark. It's our first power play goal of the weekend, but that's just simple job. And it's, like I said, great play by Putnam. putting it on goal, forcing Dawes to make the save, and ended up making him kick out a rebound right out of the stick of the guy who probably calls his hockey pants breezers. That's the big thing in the land of 10,000 lakes. Not sure where that all started, but that's what they call them up there. The only state that I've ever heard anyone call hockey pants anything different. Except for the 80s when they tried those Cooperalls. But once again, we don't need to go into that. Here's Colin McCray rushing down the wing. Got bumped off stride at the last second by Cullen Tully. Once again, the Little Caesars defenseman getting active on the offensive end. Here's another try for Peterson. Spinning and trying to shoot, but it fell off his stick. Ends up taking a bump by Mikulski, then takes a tumble in the near corner. And then Peterson takes another tumble. A little bit of a rough shift for him after scoring that goal, which gives now Verbero a 3-goal lead. Now Wade will come on back in. Looking back door for Mikulski coming in late, but a good poke check made by Mason Goodridge. Wade trying to spin away from Izzy Parsa in the corner. Ethan Chen. We know he's got that scoring touch that would be beneficial for elite prospects. Nice little overload setup here by EP. Mabitash trying to come off the corner. That's White now back up top. Trent White, another one of those Colorado Rampage products, takes a shot. Save made by Goodridge. The rebound sits there for a second. Unable to clear it was Colin McCray. Second chance of the line, not out. Colin Tully will float another one towards the goal. That went off a body and wide. White holds it in once again. He gives it away, though. It's a 2-on-1. Putnam with Beauchene. Putnam across. Good job, though, by Tully to get in the way.
Great defensive player there by Tully to break that 2-on-1 up, doing everything he can, and he did his job well.
It's so important as a defenseman on a 2-on-1 if you're going to lay out like that to time it at the right time so you don't get caught out of position. Great job by the former junior Duck, the Mission Viejo, California kid.
Not an easy thing to do, lay out like that, but the more games you play, the more experience you'll get, and the better you'll get at it, and you'll see it at any level if you lay out. The forwards from the other team may try to dangle around you, but if you time it right and if you got that long reach, that's when the laying out play on defense really, really works out, and you saw Tully pull that off just a couple seconds ago.
Wonder how often the 15-year-old plays Chell and knows how to do the old L1R1 maneuver to get in the way and not cause a trip, because it seems like every time I try to do that, my guy ends up going to the sin bin.
I'm sure most of these players are very well acclimated with the NHL video game, and I've heard
or LB and right B for you Microsoft people out there for the Xbox.
Do you have any cheat codes for me? Because I'm not good at it. I need to get better quick.
I just play a good old-fashioned game of European puck possession, as Scotty Bowman would have called it. It makes people rage quit whenever I play them online. Down low here with Verbero trying to get the puck out of their zone. Cut off for a moment was Adam Kutsian, but he now has a second chance to get it out. Couldn't do so. Perreault, Sifter, saved by Goodridge. Good look once again by the Windy City defenseman. Trying to throw it out in front. Unable to find a man was Gavin Parks, and a quick shot from the point, ticked away by Goodridge. Things starting to pick up a little bit here for the Verbero netminder in the waning minutes here of period number 2. Good job by Kutsian to work it out to center. Kutsian, former junior dog, under 15 product, given away. Ferdinand scores!
A great steal there by Ferdinand, lifting his stick, batting it right out of the air, a couple inches off the ice. He's able to get it down, settled perfectly, and just snaps one past the far leg pad.
No hats thrown on the ice for the hat trick for Matthew Ferdinand.
And his 4th goal of the weekend. Very impressive so far. And hey, if I had a hat, I would throw one. I don't know if I could reach it to the ice from here, but hats off to you, Ferdinand, for the hat trick.
There you go. And nice save there, Ryan. Look at you being the goaltender in the booth, if you will. But like I said, Ferdinand played for the Northern Moose this season. Back out in front as Elite Prospects trying to answer, now down by 4. Played under 18, played under 16 this year. Very good offensive weapon. Great weapon on the power play as well. And as we've seen, certainly that offensive touch has not been missed since he's came back down here stateside. Turned over Ferdinand. Well, it wouldn't be something if he got 4 goals here today. But now Aiden Iojak will come back for Team EP. Across the line, sees a man coming in late. It's looking for Giordano, but intercepted by Ferdinand, and now the other way. Sturboos sifting on ahead. Gabriel Clark, the defenseman. Good save by Dawes with the right pad.
Dawes able to get that pad down in time, making a big save.
Time of that goal, by the way, for Ferdinand was at the 18:38 mark. As we're down now to 27 seconds to go. That shot gets blocked by Iojak. CO trying to keep it on in and doing so. That's Shirk, who scored the first of the 5 goals now for Verbero. CO now up at the point. Couple bodies take a tumble here as we're down to a dozen seconds left. A centering pass by Spagnuolo is intercepted by Giordano. Great back pressure, though, by Shirk to not allow Iojak to maybe spring Merrick on a breakaway. Maybe one last shot here for CO. Long shoot in, gloved and held by Dawes. And that's how we'll end period number 2. The Elite Prospects answered back in this game, but 3 goals in the second period by Verbero has them in a nice, comfortable position as we go into this third period, Ryan Radosevich.
And although Verbero is up 5-1, we've seen this scoreline in Game 1. Elite Prospects was up 5-0 at a time, so if you think this game's over, it is far from over. 20 minutes can change any aspect of this hockey game, and I expect Elite Prospects to come out firing on all cylinders and trying to even it up. Sure, they got 20 minutes, but they got the skill, the talent. I think they could do it.
Shots on goal in that second period, 15-8 for Verbero, 22-18 after 2 periods in favor of the team in black. They're up by 4 heading into the second intermission. We'll take a break, folks. When we come back, we'll have some more interviews with our people that we have around here this weekend at the Pre-Draft Invitational, with more and recapping that second period here on WSBN TV. One of the defensemen for Team Elite Prospects is Garen Mikulski. He sits right next to me right now out of South Kent Schools. Obviously, Garen, this is a very unique event for guys like you, guys that are trying to make their way up into junior hockey. Tell us about the experience so far.
Yeah, it's been really fun meeting a bunch of new guys and coaches and play some good competition.
Obviously, this isn't quite like your normal weekend, if you will, because you're playing with, like you said, new kids all the time. How much different is that to adjust your game a little bit to try to not just obviously show off your skills, but also kind of accommodate all your peers here?
Yeah, you got to just adapt to everyone and just get to know everyone pretty quick and just learn their games and just adapt to it.
Have you ever been in a showcase like this before? I mean, obviously, you kind of meet new kids every single season, it seems like, but these kind of weekend or week-long showcases, this kind of new to you?
A little bit. I don't do a ton, but kind of used to it. Meeting new kids, going to new teams.
Yeah, Ryan and I, we said your name a few times last night on the defensive end here. Is there anyone that inspires you to kind of mold your game after to become the defenseman you are today?
I like to try to be like Cale Makar and Adam Fox.
Those are pretty good players. I mean, Cale Makar's got the wheels. Adam Fox has got pretty much the all-around game as a former Norris Trophy winner. But what do you think when you see yourself here playing against these guys? If you saw like a junior scout here, would you tell him that you could bring to their team in the future?
Probably my skating and hockey IQ and yeah.
Obviously, let's have a little fun here with these questions here. So you're right-handed defenseman, which is obviously a big thing in today's game. How do you tape your stick? Heel to toe or toe to heel?
Oh, it changes a lot. I probably change my tape job probably every week.
How can you do that? Is that like, as a goaltender myself, I was always very superstitious. Everything had to be to a T. How can you do that and be mentally sane?
So I'm very superstitious. I am superstitious in the way that I have to change my tape job before I play games, but I have the same tape job every game day.
So what would be outside of hockey? What are your big interests? We're hearing golf. That's obviously the big one. Everyone likes to play golf, especially here in Michigan. That's what we love to do as well. What else do you like to do?
I'm a big golfer.
What kind of clubs do you use?
Titleist AP2s.
Oh, man, look at you being all fancy and stuff. We've been chatting here with Garen Mikulski. He's on Team EP on the blue line there, getting ready for Game 2 of the EP Pre-Draft Invitational. welcome back, folks, here to Mun Ice Arena as we are getting set for the third period of the third game of the Elite Prospects Pre-Draft Invitational. Tyler Kuehl alongside Ryan Radosevich as we get set to see Verbero try to coast the rest of the way. It's a 5-1 lead for the team in black. Elite Prospects, though, they've gotten some great chances, but it's very difficult to get the puck by the guy by the name of Mason Goodrich because he's played really good this weekend.
Mason Goodrich has played an amazing series this whole entire weekend. His glove has looked amazing. His blocker looked amazing his whole game. It's very aggressive, plays on his top of his crease, but he reads the play well, and he's come up with a lot of good saves for his team.
He kind of has to be as well because he only stands 5'10", and obviously he's a little bit younger, so he still has time to grow, but the basis of challenging the shooter as a young goaltender and having good movement, those are good things. So when he becomes maybe close to 6 foot, 6'1", you might see a little bit Jonathan Quick-esque, if you will.
Yeah, one of his role models, UC Saros, only 5'11", but one of the best goaltenders in all of the NHL. Definitely taking notes from his game, and it translates because Goodrich has been playing well for sure.
One of the best players this entire weekend has now been Matthew Ferdinand. He gets the hat trick today. I believe that's the first hat trick for anyone in this two-year showcase, albeit. But he's now got 4 goals as the New Brunswick native here. The all-time leading goal scorers in the EP Pre-Draft Invitational history. But certainly he's showing his case on why he should be looked at by some junior teams.
Sure, it's only 2 years of the Pre-Draft Invitational, but Matthew Ferdinand topping the list, and like you said, completing the hat trick. And the third goal, the hat trick, come off an amazing steal, and he did that. He converted that into a goal all by himself. So natural 2-period hat trick by Matthew Ferdinand, and like you said, 4 goals on the weekend. He's had a very good showcase.
Braden Wade picked up his 3rd goal for Team Elite Prospects as a young man from Commerce Township, about an hour or so down the road here from Mun Ice Arena. He gets his 3rd goal, has 5 points this weekend as well. He's been impressive, not just on the offensive end, but a good two-way centerman.
Yeah, he's been a great 200-foot skater throughout this whole entire tournament. Like you said, the offensive prowess, but his defensive game coming back on the back check, able to stick check, get in the way of good passing lanes, and just overall good knowledge of the game, high hockey IQ. Braden Wade's been playing great for Elite Prospects.
This isn't the last time these kids will be able to showcase their skills. There still is the USHL Combine coming up, so another chance for them to show off their abilities. But what this Invitational has done, and we're going to talk to Ed Palumbo here after the game, talk a little bit about this whole event. It gives these guys another opportunity to show their 5-on-5 skills and their teamwork with other guys, because a lot of these kids, when they go up to the junior ranks or the next team they join, they're going to have to quickly acclimate themselves if they want to, be an everyday junior player. So they're getting this opportunity, and so far there's been quite a few guys that have shown, even though they're not on the score sheet, they've shown that they can play with other guys they don't know too well. Yeah,
and a big part of this whole Invitational is seeing how quickly players can gel with each other, because like you mentioned, stepping up to the big leagues, you got to be able to gel with any teammates, any line you get thrown on. And in 3 games, these guys have gotten to know each other well. A lot of guys with a good amount of teamwork and constructive plays with each other. It's been fun to see these teams grow and get better throughout every single period.
They finally grew enough to get a power play goal. At least Team Verbero did. Let's set things back to the ice now as we get set for this 3rd and final period of the weekend. Elite Prospects now with Alec Dawes down to our left. They're going left to right. Mason Goodrich has finished up scraping his crease down to our right for Team Verbero. Really excited to see I myself, Ryan, you're a goaltender as well. I'm a goaltender. We always like to keep an eye on the tendies. Dawes, of course, the Tennessee native, played for the Junior Preds, 15 and under team this year. That's my friend Peyton Turnage's country down there, Smashville. Also played for the TPH Prospects at Dawes in the World Selects Invitational last season as an under 15. Alec Dawes, another goaltender who certainly has high aspirations, and Junior Preds used to be a thing as well in the NA3HL, so some junior hockey down there as Smashville continues to grow the hockey down in the south. Back underway here at Mun Ice Arena. Nice little play by Sam Smith to get in front. Goodrich knocks it away. He's down and out, and they score!
Goodrich looking over at the referee, maybe asking for some interference, but his aggressive play may have caught him a little bit out of position there. He was able to get the poke check, but because of that, he sprawled over to the side. And Team Elite Prospects gets the 2nd goal of the game. First goal in a long time for them. And like I said at the bottom of the 2nd period, don't go anywhere, folks. Anything can happen in 20 minutes. And 16 seconds into this one, Team Elite Prospects already gets one back.
Former Chicago Junior Blackhawk Sam Smith, his 3rd goal in 2 games, 3rd of the weekend. A big one for him indeed now as Elite Prospects tries to cut into this lead and stage some form of a comeback. Max McGuire and Jimmy Sutherland get the assist at the goal that came at the 16-second mark of this third period. Like we said, 5-goal leads here this weekend, not the safest. Tell Verbero all about that. They had to come back from a 5-0 deficit on Friday to win 8-7 in overtime.
That was a heck of a game, but it's good to see the defense has settled between these two teams a lot more, and it's good to see the structure of hockey really flourish in these last couple games.
And the crazy part is in that 8-7 game, that's when we really noticed Mason Goodrich because he made so many ridiculous saves in that one. We said, well, despite 15 goals being scored, kids, the goaltending's been great.
Yeah, Goodrich, very, very impressive this whole entire weekend, that's for sure.
Here comes Sutherland, trying to get his name on the score sheet once again. With the assist on the goal, he now has 4 points as this shot off the stick of Beauchene goes wide by Alec Dawes. Beauchene will have another try at it, but it gets knocked away from him by Braden Wade as him and Brody Merrick, along with Aiden Iojak, back together now. This line was dynamic in game one. Mikulski in across the line, toe drag, shot, rides off the stick of Crawford as Mikulski will keep on the chase for EP. Turned over by Iojak is now the other way comes Gresko. He's got Lou with him, gets around Mikulski. Lou in front, deflects it on, and a good right pad save stretching out was Alec Dawes. Lou now behind the net trying to get it back in front. Puck kind of got caught in some water on that far corner. Seems like they tried to let the ice settle a little bit more for this third period, but still some wet spots here in East Lansing. On forward now, John Crawford, long pass. Sturbu looked like he was going to go off on a breakaway, but it was knocked away. Good read by Cullen Tully.
Taking you back to that last opportunity there by Verbero. Sean Gresko showing off the speed on the far wing, able to center it to Lou. Lou with a decent opportunity, but a great save there by Alec Dawes.
Now it's Merrick on a cross here for Kevin Perreault. Nice cross-side speed, finds Iojak. Iojak trying to stiff that one on through, but just outside the reach of Wade. He's tied up with Parsa. Left along Iojak. Trying to dip the shoulder, but Crawford keeps him to the outside. Now pins him to the boards. Iojak somehow sneaks that away free. Going back door, all off the outside of the goal as Emmett Porter just couldn't get enough of that one-timer.
What a feed by Iojak to find Emmett Porter on that back post. The vision of Aiden Iojak has been on display.
Sturbu trying to knife his way through, but a great job by Kevin Perreault, the two-way defenseman. Really standing on his own there and knocking him down. Porter couldn't find that puck as it gets flipped back out to center. Coming past the 3-minute mark of this third period. Spagnola with an assist in this game gets bumped off the puck, but he gets it right back from Gavin Parks. This line has been exciting to watch all weekend for Verbero, but now out to center, trying to get it on ahead is Parks. Unfortunately, it's taken back by Verbero. Seo, though, gives it away. Shen tried to throw it on across in the backhand, but not enough mustard on it as it's taken back by Verbero.
And I don't mind that play by Seal. Two forwards by Elite Prospects right in front of his face. Just throw it to some open ice. Make sure you don't make the big mistake, and that's what he did there.
Almost turned over right inside the Elite Prospects blue line. Long cross-ice feed, deflected by Porter, but a good pinch by Gabriel Clark allows Ferdinand to come back on in. Ferdinand, 4 goals on the weekend. Look out, Spagnola in front looking to get his first goal, but his backhander goes over top of the glove of Dawes and wide. Gabriel Clark down low, tried to center it, but he fanned on it, and the puck will come all the way down, and this one will have enough for icing, so we'll come back down into the EP zone with 15:53 to go in the Invitational.
Zach Spagnolo, number 15 for Team Verbero, has had himself a great weekend. Also celebrated a birthday, turned 16 just yesterday. Able to get points in every single game. Tried to pull off the Michigan in game 1. He was pretty close. If you could pull that off in one of these tournaments, that'll be crazy. We've seen a couple attempts, hasn't happened, but overall good weekend by Zach Spagnolo.
Timeout taken here by Team Verbero. Looks like Coach Spiros Anastas, who we were able to talk to on Friday, just trying to get a message across to the team here. Some may say it's a little early of a timeout, but there are some coaches that just kind of realize when a good time to take a timeout is to maybe refocus the team a little bit.
Yeah, timeout could do dividends for your team, and if you're watching the National Championship last night, Minnesota used their timeout when they were up 2-1 to give some rest to some tired players. That kind of came back to haunt them because Quinnipiac tied the game 2-2 with about 3 minutes to go, and Minnesota in the waning minutes definitely would have wanted that back. So timeouts do matter. Looks like this one's just to calm things down, talk to your playmakers between coach, and just get a message out there.
So we'll come back down to our left here in the EP zone. Dawes jumping back in the net there. Has made some nice saves in this period, trying to keep his team in this game as they're down by 3 now after that goal earlier on in this period. In the opening seconds, it felt like, for Sam Smith, not the singer. Here comes on in, Elite Prospects, Mabitas, but just offsides was Calder and back in, so we'll come back outside the Verbero blue line.
And although Team Verbero is up 5-2, we have seen 3 goals in quick succession coming from a team. Verbero in Game 1 in the second period were able to net 3 goals in 58 seconds, so Elite Prospects, they do have time. They got 15 minutes, but they may take a note out of the Verbero book and try to put a slew of goals together.
They certainly have the firepower to do it, and all it takes is just going, because what we saw in that second period on Friday was Verbero, because we talked about kind of off the top, obviously, you know, the wins or losses, as icing's called here against Elite Prospects, it won't obviously affect really anything because it's not really for an actual championship, but you saw how excited the players got and how jacked they got when that comeback was going along, and certainly when they tied it up, they were out as loud as we've heard either team all weekend. So sometimes, you know what, when it comes down to it, teams like to win. Players like to win.
Oh, yeah, the compete on these kids cannot be turned down, even though this is more of just a friendly, get here, learn stuff, make some friends, and improve your game. You can't turn the compete down with these kids. They want to win every single game, no matter where they are, who they're playing with.
Yeah, nice little move by McGuire, knifing his way in. Got around Katsian, but couldn't make his way to the goal. Up to the point, Williams fans on that pass attempt. And now Jaden Shirk springing the other way for Verbero. Trying to drop it on back, gets it to Kaczynski, but couldn't make his way towards the goal as Mikulski got in the way. Centering pass into the slot, high off the bench, a slap shot, fan down by Crawford. Skipped away from Kaczynski as he was on the back door looking to direct it in. Now he's being worked on. Mikulski doing a good job. Now the puck just kind of falls underneath the Belarusian. Gets back to his feet. Now is promptly put into the boards by McGuire. Ref's telling him to move the puck a little bit. I'm not sure if that puck's even moving. Now you see Sutherland trying to knife it out of there, and it finally squirts free. Kind of jumped out, and now rushed the other way, but good hold at the line. Is slapping off the glass was Crawford as it looked like a chance for Elite Prospects, but now it's Shirk in front. Backhander wide of the goal as Whitkin had a good look in tight. Now it's Sutherland. Tries a little toe drag flip move, but unfortunately got caught up in the skates of Whitkin. Now it'll be Lumsden working his way on into the EPN. The defenseman stops up, tries to take a shot. It gets deflected up in the air, and Dawes will glove it after getting a tap on the glove by Brody Peterson.
John Lumsden there for Verbero, skating by himself into the own zone, something that the defenders definitely aren't accustomed to, but he seemed very comfortable. Skated in, put on the brakes on the far side face-off circle, waited for an open lane, decided to shoot it instead, looking for a rebound off the goaltender Alec Dawes. He wasn't able to get one, but a smart play by John Lumsden, who was the only one in the zone for a while.
That shot is blocked out in front. That one was let go by Crawford. Crawford, who's 3 assists in that game Friday night. That comeback for Verbero, all primary assists. Just on sides, Brody Merrick almost made too many moves at the blue line. He gets it back from here from Wade. Tries to give it back to him. A nice little backhand feed attempted, but Hudson Nguyen gets in the way. Nothing really flashy about Hudson Nguyen's game, Ryan, but he's been effective in his defensive zone, and obviously the 2 goals on Friday night helped part of that comeback for Verbero.
Yeah, he's been impressive. He's got a quick snapshot. He likes to shoot the puck. The native out of Daniel Island, South Carolina, has put together a good weekend.
Crawford's shot went wide of the goal. Slap shot from a bad angle by Parsa goes wide as well, and Crawford won't take any chances. He'll just back it out to center and maintain possession instead of just dumping it on in. This time he does, though.
I've been impressed by Crawford's game all throughout this tournament. Great offensively, but great defensively as well, and that's what the scouts are looking for, a full, complete game for these kids.
Cullen Tully picks up the puck after Parker Chan's initial breakout pass was almost intercepted. Tully now just flips on over as Merrick, trying to handle the bobbling puck, will just pitchfork it on into the Verbero zone. You see Goodrich trying to tell him to calm it down as he's on a line change here. Another cross-ice feed. Ethan Chen picks that one off. Here's Porter coming in. Shot. Good. Left pad save. A kick save and a beauty.
Not the first time Ethan Chen has picked off a pass, giving it over to Porter, but like you said, kick save and a beauty right there by Goodrich.
Flexibility being shown as getting knocked down as James Liu in the corner. Long shoot from the point goes wide of the cage. Gabriel Clark once again activating from the blue line down low here for Verbero. And he got caught for a second, but will go back to his normal positioning. Spagnuolo then checking Perot behind the net. Mentioned Spagnuolo in spades, dare we say. Played in the national tournament last year in the under-14 ranks for the Dallas Stars. Junior Stars, that is. Obviously not the Dallas Stars. I'm sure though Spagnuolo wouldn't mind playing for them someday.
Maybe some ambitions in the future trying to get there. We'll see.
He goes rushing it on in now, and he gets checked here by Gavin Parks. At it square out of the pile. Perot trying to handle that bobbling puck. Finally works its way out to center now as Chen's pass a little bit behind Porter, who will now circle up in the neutral zone as EP is trying to regroup with 11:20 to go here in regulation. They're still down by 3. They do have the lone goal here in this third period thus far. Goodrich will play it along. Nice little touch on forward here as Verbero trying to come back the other way. Spagnuolo takes a big bump thrown by Bradley Backin. Backin, despite not being the tallest guy, 5'8", 159, certainly doesn't mind throwing the body around. Joey Calder plays it forward. Now Backin will bring it on ahead. Maybe a 3-on-2, 4-on-2 for Elite Prospects. Backin trying to get in front. Mabutas off the outside of the goal post.
Just ringing the post there.
He had another man with him as maybe Calder was coming in the back door, but he elects to take the shot. Not a bad idea as it almost went in. And there is a takedown by Stuber on the far side. So it'll be another power play coming up here for Elite Prospects when they turn it over. Trying to work it down the walls back in. Good job as he was stumbling to keep possession for Elite Prospects. But now it's turned over. Whitkin will touch up. 10:24 to go here in the third period. And a power play, the second of the game here for Elite Prospects coming up.
Sturbu going to the box for Verbero. Elite Prospects, perfect time for a power play. They're down 3 here. They haven't been able to a power play tally, but if they want to make a comeback in this one, getting the first one right here, right now, would be a great start for them.
Well, Verbero scored on their 5th power play of the weekend. This is the 5th here for EP. Shots on goal 5-4 in this period in favor of Verbero, but the Prospects trying to spur some life as Sutherland has it behind the goal. Jimmy Sutherland out of Kamoka, Ontario, tried a little fancy little play there, but couldn't quite get it through. Seen a couple guys go for the Michigan this weekend. Now Sam Smith trying to go backdoor off a stick, and it'll hit the netting and will go out of play.
Michigan attempt counter up to 3. Yes, we've been keeping that close attention. With the amount of talent these kids have, they want to pull off a move like that. But on this power play so far by Elite Prospects, they've been able to get some decent looks, but they still got a minute 38 remaining.
One thing that's hard about the Michigan is trying to deceive it, because it can't be like Mike Legg, who did it back in 1996, right down to our left, folks. It was at this rink in East Lansing against Minnesota that Mike Legg pulled it off. You really had to wind it.
The goaltenders are ready for that. They definitely don't want to let one of those goals in. You might get red on the face of your goaltender if you let one in, because obviously
that no one ever tried it back when I was playing, because I had a couple defensemen when I was in college that would have taken exception. And they were some big boys that I had back with me. Not the two, well, it was actually one of the 2 Frenchmen I told you about earlier this weekend that only spoke in Francophone, which made it very difficult for me to be a goaltender. Great shot by Sutherland. Unfortunately, beat the goaltender Goodrich, but not the iron. Another try that's deflected. Sutherland fans on the rebound attempt now as it's cleared up and down the ice with 30 seconds to go on the power play.
Jimmy Sutherland for Elite Prospects, somebody who's had a very impressive weekend. He's got a quick release, loves to get to the slot, and he's put up a ton of points this weekend already.
The Elgin Middlesex former Chief last season, playing for Bishop Kearney Selects. Here's a shot that goes off the pad of the netminder, Mason Goodrich. Skips out in front, but it's collected here as John Crawford, as the seconds are ticking off this power play, will rush it on ahead himself. Line mates are changing. His shot goes off a stick and wide. 0 for 5 now on the weekend. 0 for 2 this morning. It is Elite Prospects with the man advantage. We have 8:15 to go here in regulation time. It's been a great bit of action all weekend long, seeing some of the brightest and young players Here's a chance. Look out. A try it by Merrick over top of the goal. Puck kind of flipped up in the last second, which sent it high. And a fluttering shot by Tully. Just kind of wiggles its way over top of the goal. Crawford with a shot block as Iojak got it knocked off his stick. Wade trying to go back door for Merrick. Great vision once again by the center, but just unable to connect.
Good stick check there by Iojak, getting it to Wade, and a great opportunity there for Elite Prospects to cut into that lead.
James Lou puts it down the boards. There's Hudson Wynn being worked on by Wade. Williams now will settle things down as him and Colin Tully play some catch. Mentioned Williams, big tall defenseman. We highlight him off the top of the program today, the former Florida Alliance AAA member. Very good, solid defensively. Doesn't say his name on the score sheet too much, but then again, we've said his name on the defensive end, which is important given his position. 7:07 to go in this third period. A long shot, trying to get a deflection was Gabriel Clark. Nothing doing. Williams will go give chase. A little bit of a long shift for him as Parker Cha, who fresh on the ice, has it now. He'll look to move it ahead. The puck is seemingly not settling right now for Elite Prospects. It will come all the way down. They'll say no icing as Clark slowed up just a little bit to allow it to get down. Emmett Porter, nice little touch pass for Parks. Parks wanted to go back to him, but no good laying, good awareness. Cha with a shot off the mask of Goodrich as he tried to catch that one in his chest, ended up catching him between the eyes there. Porter, here's Ryan Giordano. His shot gets blocked as Thomas Putnam got in the way. Flipped out to center as going back for it here once again will be the Steel Icebreaker Tournament product for the Windy City Storm, Parker Cha. Giordano back with it again, flips it back down into Verbero territory. Great offensive zone time here for Elite Prospects, but they're still down by 3 as Spagnola will come back now. Puck was caught on his feet for a moment. The rest of his mates are changing, so he'll bring it on himself. He takes a huge hit. Emmett Porter just stepped into him and sent the Dallas kid for a ride. Spagnola thought about getting some retribution, but he'll just keep the puck in deep. Now Ferdinand, he sees Spagnola, couldn't get it to him as it went off Tully and back to the point. Colin McCrate, the former Detroit Junior Red Wing, keeps it in at the blue line with a couple of EP guys coming at him. Now Ferdinand behind the goal. A hat trick already today for the Maritimer. Now Seo looking to use those end boards to his advantage. It just lands on the stick of Spagnola, who takes another check, this one by Parker Shaw. Now here's Ferdinand, some room on the backhand, scores!
I am not too sure if that one hit off of Spagnola or not. Looks like Spagnola is going to take credit for that one. Able to tip it in front. And the goaltender, Alec Dawes, getting a piece of it, jumped off the top of his glove. He was just inches away from trapping it. But nonetheless, a goal that Elite Prospects didn't want to let in, but Verbero pushing the lead to 6-2. Good heads-up play there. Able to get it in the back of the net.
Great backhand by Ferdinand as well, and you can see Ferdinand point at Spagnola right away. I'm like, that's your goal, buddy. Colin McCrate will get the secondary assist on the goal as well. That gives the Tecumseh, Michigan native his second assist of the weekend as well. He played for the Twin Cities Selects last season. We mentioned size and physicality with Colin McCrate. He's a 15-year-old. Here's now Kaczynski coming back in. A shot. Juicy rebound kicked out by Dawes. Another follow-up chance. Dawes had to quickly recover to make 2 saves on Kaczynski. As now it's pushed away as Verbero looking to further extend the lead. It's their biggest lead of the game so far once again. They were up 5-1 earlier on as he rubbed off the puck. Was back in. Good job by Jaden Shirk. Now Kaczynski with it again. Tried a little backdrop pass, but was taken away by Perreault. Backen gets bumped off Striders, down to 4:23 to go here in period number 3. Sure to stay tuned, folks. Here after this one, we'll have Ed Palumbo come up and join us. We'll talk about the tournament as icing called, despite Goodrich coming out to play it.
And on that last goal there, the tip goal by Zachary Spagnola off the backhand by Ferdinand. That's now Ferdinand's 4th point of the game so far. He already scored the hat trick, decided to share the love a little bit and get a primary assist. He's put together a very impressive pre-draft invitational, to say the least.
6 points as well for the New Maryland, New Brunswick native, which now gives him the all-time point total in Elite Prospects pre-draft invitational history. I have to give him maybe a shiny penny.
Do we got any trophies we can give out here?
Get him a loonie here. I probably have in my back pocket somewhere from my previous travels. That one goes up in the net and out of play after Jimmy Sutherland let that one go.
Now, obviously, these games are more for fun, more for the experience and trying to learn and grow your game. Down 4 goals is elite prospects. Do you think Alec Dawes comes out of the net here?
I wouldn't say so.
Nah, I don't think so either. But
I'd want to stay in net if I'm Dawes. Try to see if I can get any more saves. Got to rack up the stats a little bit while you can here.
Yep.
In the final, now under 4 to play here of regulation time. Cullen Tully trying to spin away from Brody Peterson, who scored his first of the weekend. Back earlier on this period, his first of the weekend. Now Sam Smith trying to come back on in. He's got 3 goals, including 1 here today. Looking out in front, but gets checked off into the corner. Pulled out, Peterson takes the tumble. McGuire tried to let it go, but a great job by Hudson Nguyen getting in the way. Despite not getting any points in the last couple of games, number 20 in black. Very active in the defensive zone as McGuire looked in for a check and unfortunately may have caught the worst of it as he got tripped up a little bit after making contact with Thomas Putnam. Sam Smith winds it up. Shot goes wide. Puck jumped back out to the side of the goal, but it's collected here by Sean Gresco. Gresco, the former Chicago Jet, left it along. All the way on in and a shot. Good snagging glove save made by Alec Dawes.
Dawes with a great save there, but on the other end, the top line for elite prospects of Jimmy Sutherland, Max McGuire, and Sam Smith, they put together a lot of points this weekend. They've gelled very, very well. A lot of playmakers, a lot of talent on that line, and it's definitely shown.
Face off to the left of Dawes. Dawes donning the, dare we say, the junior Preds pads a little bit, and the pants as well. Or breezers if you're Brody Peterson. Jack puts it up the boards now. Wade, look out. Clark stepped into him, and Gabriel Clark, we mentioned, big, strong young man, stepping into slightly smaller Wade, but Wade seems no worse for wear as he comes back in the defensive end for EP. And then Wade throws a firm check as he gets Lou into the boards. Gets a good rise out of the EP bench.
Definitely got in chippier compared to game 1 where not many hits were thrown. Today, there's been a lot of big hits.
Point off here, Nolan Beauchesne trying to dance by Evan Williams. Got to the front before getting knocked down, and this one will be called as Parker Shaw will go to the box for a roughing call.
And a good call there by the referees, of course. They see the roughing, they're going to call that 10 times out of 10. It looks like Verbero, even though there's 2 minutes left, this power play time is probably going to fill up most of the game. And I don't want to jinx anything, but it seems like Verbero will be taking the weekend series 2-1, especially now since they're on the man advantage.
Third power play of this game. Now 6 of the weekend. They're 1 for 5, 1 for 2 today. Face off to the left of Dawes. It's one on back here. McCray running the power play up top.
And why not keep the music? Ah, there we go.
I was about to say, all of a sudden this has turned into a nice Sunday morning practice where you just have the music blaring and keeping the kids loose a little bit.
And for Verbero, they get to practice their power play one more time.
That shot is stopped by Dawes. The rebound pushed to the line and just out as McCray couldn't quite handle the bouncing puck. Spagnolo gives it on here for Sturbu, the top line back here. This line has combined for a number of points already today, let alone this entire weekend, of course, with Ferdinand having the hat trick today, 3 goals and an assist for him. Sturbu has an assist today, and Spagnolo a goal and an assist as well, all cashing in. 95 seconds to go in this third period. And a fun, exciting weekend of action here from Munn Ice Arena. Look out. Almost turned over. Clearing temp went off of Kevin Perot. Some friendly fire for elite prospects. Adam Katsian and Spagnolo playing catch. Katsian gives it away, then Chen throws a body on him, and he might have had a chance at a breakaway, but he decided to take some liberties with the defenseman for Verbero. Back in, centers it towards the goal, and it's gloved and held by Goodrich. He'll hold on to that. We were actually talking with a couple of coaches and scouts here today. We were talking about, well, some of these youngsters, when you go to the junior ranks, there is something called fisticuffs. So you got to be used a little bit to the physical game a little bit. Obviously, they would say some things they get away with a little bit more.
Now, a big conversation in the grand scheme of hockey is, should fighting be part of the game? I want to hear your opinion. I think it's just essential. It's been part of the game forever, and it's fun for the fans watching it. But what do you think, Tyler?
I don't. As long as you don't have the goons or whatever, I don't mind. Like, yeah, the Kachucks you see, like those are skilled players that play tough. Like, that's fine. But there's no such thing as an enforcer anymore, so I'm okay with it.
Okay.
As long as it's worthwhile. I know some things have been talked about the whole big hits and then it leads to a fight, but as long as the kids know what they're doing and they know what's at risk, it's all that really matters. And I guess in a way, as long as they do it somewhat safely. Here's a shot, 2 good saves by Dawes. It's held on to. I don't think the goaltenders need to worry about fighting, though. I don't know if we want to see Goodrich and Dawes go ahead of here at 27.3, but it's been a great action. We've had a lot of offense. Now 8 goals today after 15 on Friday and 7 yesterday. The goaltender, even though despite all these goals, we've seen some great saves on both accounts. The goaltenders have been hung out to dry a time or two, but they've found ways to certainly get their names put out there here on WSBN TV with some fantastic saves, especially the guy down to our right, Mason Goodrich, who's had a relatively routine day today, I guess, compared to the other couple games. 10 seconds to go here as the penalty expires, so officially 1 for 3 today will be Verbero. One-timer fan down by Wynn. A follow-up chance just put wide by Putnam. 2 seconds and one more try, and they score just as it goes. I think it'll be a goal for Putnam.
Count it.
Third of the weekend, as it'll be a 7-2 victory for Verbero here, and they will take the EP Pre-Draft Invitational Championship.
They took game 1, battled all the way back down from 5-0, eventually tying it up with 15 seconds left was Newen in that one, forcing overtime. They go on to win 8-7. Elite Prospects picking up game 2, 5-2 last night, but early morning, Verbero's offense putting on a clinic. 7 goals officially as they take the EP Pre-Draft Invitational Tournament 2-1.
7-2 the final score. Shots on goal in this one, 35-25 in favor of Verbero after outshooting Elite Prospects 13-7 in this third period. Final lines for the goaltenders. Goodrich only faced 9 shots in his time. Ended up giving up 4 goals, though, unfortunately. Gave up just the 1 goal. Correction, I'm looking at the wrong side of my stat sheet here. And then for Dawes on the other side, he ended up facing a total of 20 shots on goal and gave up 4 goals. 16 of 20 is his line. After Aaron Sox gave up 12 of 15, Zayden Allen gave up 13 of 14. As the players give final handshakes to the refs, to all the players, we're going to have one big fat picture here of all the youngsters that played here this weekend. A lot of these kids, like we said, will be saying their names in higher levels of hockey. Probably be back with their AAA programs next year, Ryan, but some youngsters that we might see in a few years be like, hey, I remember that kid.
Yeah, lots of talent in this pre-draft invitational, and for me, it's my first time calling the younger kids like this. I'm extremely surprised by how good these kids are. There's a lot of talent that played on the ice this weekend. Had a bright future for all these kids. I got to meet a couple of them. It seems like they got their head on straight. They compete. They compete at a very, very high level. They try to grow their game in every aspect they can. They're learners, they're growers, and hopefully they had some fun and made some new friends this weekend.
Yep, we'll give you a rundown of the roster here. So just in case you missed the first 2 games, we set up maybe a few more names earlier in the weekend, more often than so here this morning. Aaron Sox was the starting goaltender for Elite Prospects out of San Diego, the 16-year-old. Trent White, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Kevin Perreault was a Chicago defenseman. Ryan Giordano, the defenseman out of Ringwood, New Jersey. Aiden Iojak, he and Brody Merrick out of Eagle River, Alaska. Gavin Parks and Emmett Porter, both from Syracuse, New York. Braden Wade out of Commerce Township, Michigan. Sam Smith out of Homer Glen, Illinois. Riley Mabitas out of Dallas, Texas. Jimmy Sutherland from Kamoka, Ontario. Ethan Chen, a right winger from Paramus, New Jersey. Bradley Backen out of Mason, Ohio. Max McGuire is a Lewiston, New York native. Joey Calder out of Saugus, Massachusetts. Evan Williams, Boca Raton, Florida. Cullen Tully out of Mission Viejo, California. Garen Mikulski out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Parker Cha out of Northbrook, Illinois, and the goaltender that finished this one up for Team EP, Murfreesboro, Tennessee native Alec Dawes. Ryan, who are all the guys for Team Verbero?
Starting off with number 2, Evan Seo out of Brooklyn, New York. Ismail Parsa from San Francisco, California. Very good on defense. John Lumpson putting together a great weekend out of Stittsville, Ontario. John Crawford, also great 200-foot game. Skater out of Greenwood, Colorado. Sean Gresco from Chicago, Illinois. Number 7, James Liu, the right wing out of Richland, Washington. Thomas Putnam putting together an impressive weekend as well. The center out of Vail, Colorado. Moving on to Brady Whitkin, number 9 for Verbero. Number 11 for Jaden Shirk with an impressive wraparound goal today. Skater out of Newport, California. Number 12, Brendan Sturbu, the left wing for Verbero. Mason Goodridge, the goaltender as well, put together a very good weekend for the black and green. Nolan Beauchesne out of Dunstable, Massachusetts. Feel like I'm getting that wrong, but I'll go do some research and make sure I get that right next time. Brody Peterson had himself a good weekend out of Andover, Minnesota. Zach Spagnolo, we mentioned a couple times, happy birthday, young man, turning 16 just yesterday. Philip Kaczynski out of Belarus put together a pretty good weekend. Matthew Ferdinand, too. Lots of points, including the hat trick in today's game, skating out of New Maryland, New Brunswick, Canada. Gabriel Clark also putting together an impressive weekend defensively for Verbero. Hudson Ewan, number 20, out of Daniel Island, South Carolina. Colin McCrate out of Tecumseh, Michigan, one of the 2 Michigan natives in this pre-draft invitational. Adam Kutzian also had a very impressive weekend on defense. And then rounding out the whole entire roster, number 35, Zayden Allum, definitely grew in skill and goaltending and got more confident in every single game.
So that is just about it here from Mun Ice Arena. We're glad you all can join us here for this excellent weekend of action here from East Lansing, Michigan, the home of Michigan State University. It's been fun to call these games, and for all of us here at WSBN TV, for cameraman Kevin today, Ryan Martin's been producing this entire weekend for us, running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Ryan Radosevich has been dealing with me up here in the booth. I'm Tyler Kuehl saying thank you all very much once again for watching some great elite prospects hockey action. We'll say so long here from Michigan State University.